In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Well, hello and welcome to A Show Called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris. Oh, no,
I
wait.
know, I'm also Chris.
Oh.
I'm Chris.
Oh, no. Okay, you can be Chris.
Oh, you can be Chris if you want.
I'm Ali.
Do you need us?
We can
for
just leave.
this comedic bit that's developing here.
Welcome to I'm Chris.
The new podcast where you fight over who isn't Chris because no one wants to be Chris.
Aw.
So, should we make apologies for him or just kind of?
I'm sure he will get straight on the social medias and he will write a really heartfelt, personal apology to all of our fans because that's what he does.
Which he'll share as white text on a kind of black square.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a screenshot of a note
That he's
on
written on his phone.
Yeah. That's what all the celebs do.
I must do better. That'll be the kind of
A
closing
little
line.
crying emoji next to it.
Is it like a weird reunion? Like the four of us haven't actually been in a podcast studio together in a while.
Yeah. What is it? 6 months at least?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should never have stopped playing D&D.
Yeah, that was the mistake.
Yeah.
Nothing
but-
good comes from stopping D&D.
Never. I mean, that's how
what
the
they say.
demons get out.
But no, we should. Rayman, he's got a very good reason for not being here, and he'll explain it next episode.
I'm sure he actually
Yeah, we'll give him a mic.
Yeah.
You know, God knows he loves the attention.
he really does.
But until then, I hope he makes it off the toilet eventually.
Well, listen really closely. You can hear him.
I have to send him a condolence gif.
Yeah.
But no, this is actually maybe this is good. Maybe this is fortunate.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we can just make some good out
We might
of
be able to
this
salvage
awful
it.
situation.
I think this kind of happens vaguely once a year now at this point. I think there was a September in the vague, endless span of the first lockdown where we did a show together.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
And then I think there was maybe
Yeah.
another one at some point.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
I
Okay,
don't
fine.
listen. So
To be honest,
Maybe.
my brain is going from March 2020, scene missing, I'm today. I've got nothing,
Yeah.
nothing in between. And tomorrow it will be the same. Today will just be deleted.
Well, your brain is also going from we've just had a lovely salmon dinner.
All
I
right.
am quite full of salmon.
All right, yeah,
Flex.
all right. Well, we should work a little harder.
You know what we had? We had tortitas.
yeah,
That's a thing.
we had
What?
four tortitas.
It's a tortilla
Yeah,
tortilla.
yeah.
pizza.
You can see if you
It's like the
can
Da
figure
Vinci
it out.
Code.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What goes inside it?
Well, on top of
on
it.
top.
So you get a tortilla. That's the base of your pizza.
Oh.
And then you put shit on
Tomato puree, mozzarella, chorizo,
it. God, it was good.
But
and then there's a
very thin.
salsa.
that's classy though.
It was.
What you're
It was.
describing sounds classy.
It looked classy.
When you said a tortilla.
I was imagining something that came out of the freezer.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Like,
no,
like a
no,
pizza
no.
Like a
pocket.
pi-
Just
yeah.
kind of folds it over and over.
Oh.
No, that's not how
No,
we
it's
do
because of the
things.
standard of food I tend to bring to this podcast. But actually, what I actually eat with my wife is actually real food.
I thought what you. I was in my head. I was combining a pizza and a taco. So I thought you had one of those kind of bird's eye fun pizzas, the size of a coaster, and you'd bent it in half and just filled the middle with chili.
Like a sort of
Sounds
thin,
quite good,
crispy
actually.
pancake thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which isn't a pancake either. I don't think it's like a hot pocket.
Well, it's barely meat.
barely food.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Mostly horse.
Yeah, but a Finder's crispy pancake, it doesn't come flat, does it?
No, it's
No, it
it's
is-
it's a pancake with fillings and then covered in breadcrumbs and then deep fried.
That's right.
I've never had
Yeah.
this.
This was like a staple of my childhood.
Yeah, I had it as a
where
kid.
My mum's idea of sort of feeding picky children was just what's the beige thing that's in the freezer right now.
See, for me, it was fish pie. I'd race home from school, whack a fish pie in the microwave. Yeah.
What you oh wait, you cook your own?
Yeah, like as an after-school snack treat.
Wait, so that wasn't dinner?
No, it wasn't dinner. No, that was
How
like
big fish pie are we talking about here?
you know, like probably the size of a small dinner plate.
So it's like a ready meal.
Like a
in
side plate.
Kiki's delivery service, like that big pie.
That's like a
little
casserole
rat-
dish.
Yeah.
No, it was like what you get it for £1 in like Iceland. And
So
just
you
microwave
would
it.
No, let's
Okay.
roll it back.
So you would rush home excited for
From school.
for a fish
Yeah.
pie.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
your school books wrapped in a belt. kind of
Yeah.
dangling.
Yeah. With your little school cap on.
Yeah.
Pass for
Yeah.
colliery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the best treat.
Take a shortcut through the old mill, you know, and then get home and have a fish pie
Yeah,
as a snack.
as a snack.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. And then dinner later,
and then dinner.
which might be a fish pie.
Yes.
I just love the idea of
Sometimes.
you bursting in, opening the freezer, and kind of like pushing there's the Calippos, push them aside. You know?
No.
Some,
Sucky Twizzlers.
some
No.
smiley faces. Happy faces, what are they called?
Oh, yeah, the potato
Oh,
faces.
yeah.
Yeah, potato faces, yeah.
They were happy.
My mum had to like keep a steady supply of
Fish pies.
fish pies in the freezer.
I mean, that's actually like pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the fact
Yeah.
I'm kind of impressed
It's,
because
thanks.
it's quite an elegant snack,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Mm,
Like,
you had to wait for 10 minutes
Oh.
for it to cook in the microwave though.
that's an outrage.
But
Probably better than a Rustler's burger, though,
oh yeah, for
if I'm
sure.
honest.
Have you eaten a Rustlers?
Yeah, I have, as a kid. Like,
They only came out in like. Wait, no, they're the microwave ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they've been out for years. I had them when I was like 12, 13.
Really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought they only came out.
No,
in,
no, no,
like-
they're
I
ancient.
think I just only
ancient
became aware
history.
of their existence at university.
Yes,
Because that's
yeah.
the kind of thing that does just like impose itself on your
I think they found them in a
understanding at uni.
tomb, actually.
What was it? There's a set amount of rustlers.
There's
in
only
the
so
world.
many. That's why they're so expensive.
No, it's just a portal in some Egyptian tomb and they keep coming out.
Yeah.
Like, don't know
Oh, there's
where
another one. And the Rustlers Limited
Yeah.
just bought that tomb.
Yeah.
And then they just package and ship them around the world.
I like the idea that a rustler is kind of like what,
That's what they call the employees.
a rustler is kind of what like if it's a sci-fi movie and they landed on an alien planet and they found some weird tree that was producing fruit that you wanted to look like something appealing to a human, it would pop out like I imagine like it looks like a burger,
Yeah.
but then you approach it, there's no seams. Like
Yeah.
like, it's all
that's actually kind of making
it's
me
all
feel a
actually
bit ill.
one layer.
It's like
Yeah.
like a fruit, but it looks like a burger.
Yeah.
I still eat it.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a dream. Sounds great.
Well, it's actually a fruit.
Yeah,
But-
that
So
sounds
it's
great.
good for you, basically.
Yeah.
If it's a fruit.
Does it taste like a burger?
That's a fact.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it looks and feels and smells like a burger, and then you bite in and there's nothing but like kiwi fruit pulp
Ooh.
juice, like from top to bottom.
Oh yeah,
But it tastes like a kiwi, so it doesn't taste like a
that's
burger.
great.
But it's hot.
Yeah.
But the
Oh,
only
it's hot.
yeah, the only sense is flavour. The only sense that tells you it's a kiwi is flavour. Everything else is
Yeah.
screaming at you.
The cross section through it is of a
Well, in
burger.
that case,
What
you
about
just have to
texture?
like eat
Yeah,
it
burger.
with your eyes closed, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I have seen you, Ali, eat a kiwi fruit as if it's like a hard-boiled egg.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just by kind of like slicing the top off and scooping out the middle. So,
Oh, I love fruit so much. It makes me salivate just thinking about it.
What about the banana we found in your kitchen? Does that make you salivate?
Decades old banana.
Oh, I must apologise. It was a very old, miserable banana.
For context, this is a banana which had turned into a liquid, and it was in a flower pot. And this is going to sound so much worse when I say it like that.
It was just in like a vessel.
It was
A
a wooden...
porous vessel, shall we
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
it's-
bamboo pot, I guess,
Yeah.
Because it had soaked through the
Through.
wood and out
onto the surface
and
beneath.
kind of like glued it to
Yeah.
the surface.
Yeah, we like to create like multi-dimensional scent experiences in our house. Like,
I've talked about this on the podcast.
yeah, a
actually.
Indeed, yeah.
scentscape,
The scentescape.
a smellscape. Yeah, you won't just
Although in this particular
smell.
case, I was trying to cover this particular scent up, and so I didn't know where it was coming from.
But like, you know, it's got a texture to it. It's got little fruit flies on it that kind of hit you in the face, you know, so like it's a multi-sensory experience.
it's like a futurist restaurant. You know,
Yeah.
where, you know, the smell is part of everything. And,
Yeah.
You know, you have to be stroking a cat with your left hand and dunking your right hand into ice water whilst, I don't know, inhaling.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, we have a chemist on the air. You know that weird guy in Britain in the 70s? You know, the one.
You know, the guy.
Who invented,
one
like,
weird guy.
in Britain in the 70s.
who invented starlight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The amazing material that he wouldn't dare tell anybody how to make, and then he died, and now nobody knows how to make it.
What?
Yeah.
What's the material?
Well, he claimed, and I think the claim is what makes it the thing, is that he made this kind of white putty.
Flubber.
Basically flubber. His name was Robin Williams. And
It was a movie.
It was a movie. There was a flying robot in it. But he made...
Wasn't a documentary, John.
He made this white putty, and the idea was that it was so flame resistant, you could like wrap an egg around it. You could wrap it around an egg, and then blowtorch it, and then peel it open, and the egg wouldn't cook.
Right.
And he was like, "This will change everything."
Yeah.
He was like, he's like, NASA are interested.
We'll
Yeah,
finally
yeah.
be able to transport eggs through the gates of hell.
Blasted
Yeah,
wasteland.
The biggest problem with it is that he wouldn't tell anybody what was in it, even because he was so terrified of someone stealing it.
It's
Which meant that
probably
nobody could do any
nefarious.
scientific testing, because the only way they could get samples was from like his home lab, which meant there were no controls. Nobody could guarantee what was in it or do any scientific testing. Yeah, and then he died.
Did he die in a fire?
He died of egg.
Ironically.
But it's like, people were like, "Why don't you patent it?" And he's like, "Well, the problem is, to patent something, you have to include like the recipe."
Yeah.
And he wouldn't even do that.
Really?
Anyway, but the reason I bring it up is I feel like the rumor is that because he was just some guy who had a shed, the idea, the principle is that whatever it was, you could make it out of stuff
from
at home.
stuff.
Yeah.
So people have come up with ideas of what we think it was, and I think your banana,
Could have been part of it.
a
at
new
least.
liquid, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the missing ingredient all along.
Yeah.
You have just, by cleaning it up, you have destroyed our one chance at ever creating
I'm
Starlight
so
again.
sorry. Well, I've got another batch on the go, so give it another week. Be
I'm
ready.
saying you have developed something which can eat through a flower pot and come out the other side, which is quite impressive.
It is impressive. Thank you.
But I'm glad you're all here, because this is actually quite serendipitous, because we couldn't do this with Rayman. He's an uncultured fellow.
We can really do anything with him.
But we can talk about IKEA.
Oh.
Now we're all here.
Yeah.
And we can
Okay.
talk
I love
about
IKEA.
the Svalnäs conspiracy. Because I feel we're the only 4 people in the room who have really
Please
got
do
in the
enlighten
world.
us, because we very recently had an IKEA experience and Svalnäs was involved.
Well, we know about the Svalnäs conspiracy. You know about the Svalnäs conspiracy. I've told you
I?
about this. Yeah. We own a Svalnäs.
Well, do you still?
Well, I mean, this is the conspiracy. Isn't it?
Are they
I'm
on-
not at home right now.
Right.
It's only there when you look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My point is,
Yes.
for the benefit of anyone listening, Svalnäs, it's lovely. It's an amazing shelving unit.
Such a good shelving system.
It's
John.
a
Yeah.
multifunctional.
Not just a unit. Think beyond.
Yeah, it's not just a piece of furniture. It's an aspirational status symbol.
It's
Yeah.
a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got some Svalnäs.
Yep.
Which went in like our lounge.
Yeah.
It was a few years old now.
Yeah.
It was like the first Christmas in the house. Put some Svalnäs up, you know. And I was like, I love
Gather
it.
round the Svalnäs, children.
For Svalnäs.
Sing them.
Merry Svalnäs, everyone.
And we were like, oh, Svalnäs, it's great.
Yeah, it's
Love it.
great.
It's great.
That's the tagline underneath it. Svalnäs. It's great.
I loved it. Yeah. Only like the E and the A have both got umlauts on top.
Everything's got a line.
It's cute.
And my point is, after the unpleasantness was starting to ease, and like we left the house for the first time in 2 years, we thought, well, maybe
The one thing.
one thing that'll brighten my
More
day
Svalnäs.
is a bit more Svalnäs. You know?
It's like a drug.
And I went to get some Svalnäs. So we went to IKEA a few
Yeah,
months ago
yeah.
and went to get some Svalnäs. And
So many times.
the problem is, I couldn't,
has no meaning.
at the time, I couldn't remember what Svalnäs was called.
No.
I just knew it was this awesome shelving system.
Yeah. You had it in your heart, but you
Yeah,
didn't
that's
have
the
it in your
thing.
head.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all have it in our heart.
And so I was like, well, this is no worry, though. It's such an important thing, Svalnäs. that
Staple.
Even though I don't know the name,
They'll have it.
they'll have it. And I couldn't find it. And then I realised I'd had this dilemma where if you tried to describe an IKEA product without knowing the name, you're at a complete loss.
Yeah.
So I
It's shelves. Yes, sir. We have a lot of those. It was Swedish. Yes.
Were they just gaslighting you?
well, yes,
We've never heard of it.
This is the thing. I had to go to. I spoke to an employee, and I was like,
Well, that's my ass.
and I was like, I've got the app, and I can't find. It doesn't appear on your website anymore. It's a shelving system. I was like, do you know it? It's like vertical bars that go on the wall, and then you can get different things. She's like, no, sir, that's not ringing a bell. I was like, no, but I definitely bought it here. In fact, I think I looked it up on your website just a few months ago, and now it's disappeared from my wish. I put it in my wish list.
Security.
Only I'm trying to order it. Where are you taking me? No.
Get this man out of here.
And she was like, no, sir, I don't think that exists. And I was like,
I've got it in my lounge.
I think I have
madam.
it. And I was like, doubt myself. And I was like, do I have it in my lounge? Have I kind of dreamt this? So I was Googling it desperately.
Just got like a pile of old scrap metal in the corner of your lounge. Lucy's like, when are you moving now?
But I was going like, is it? I can't work out what it's called. And she kept going like, ooh, are you thinking of Lindelwas or something like that? And I'm like,
No, I don't
like,
think so.
that doesn't ring a bell. She
What
said,
about
and she's like, have you? No, I don't think it's that either. Have you considered? I'm like, no. And I was like, okay, I'll give it some thought. And I went over and I had my phone. I was thinking, like, and I'm googling, like, and I'm like in a panic, like, pulling my hair out, going like, weird.
Google just glitches out and shuts down.
It's like a Google whack. Like, could not find anything.
Yo, that's the thing. And I'm going like, IKEA shelving unit.
And then you look up and you're just in a car park.
Wait, what? And then I think I found something, and it gave like a name. And I was like,
This was
"Ooh."
on the dark web, though, at this point.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that could be the one. And then I went back over to her and said, oh, I found it. I think it's called this. And she's like, oh, yes, sir, it's over here. And then she showed me, and it wasn't that. And I was like, no, I just need to.
And then you looked around and she was gone.
And I was like, I swear it's a thing, but if you don't know the word,
Yeah.
And then I eventually got home, worked it out. Well, if you don't know the word, you can't do anything. And she was probably gaslighting me, saying like, "No, sir, that's never existed."
No such thing. No.
It's like it was in my basket on your store, and now it's gone. It's disappeared. And then
She's
eventually,
like, sure.
and I found a forum where, like, it turns out they have quietly just discontinued Svalnäs. It doesn't exist anymore, and they didn't tell anyone. It's just gone. And there's a few people like myself who are like, oh no,
that's
Svalnäs.
nice.
It was great.
Should have done like a public statement or something, shouldn't they?
Yes.
Like issued a proper, like through the courts announcement. The people need to know.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing.
We need the chance to
because-
object.
Yeah.
We also have some Svalnäs.
Well, here's the thing.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you had some unassembled
excess
Svalnäs.
And we had
Svalnäs.
because we bought too much.
Yeah, we needed 3 uprights, and for some reason I ordered 8.
I think you slipped when you were ordering. Or you were
three
drunk
does look a
again.
bit like-
Yeah, the 3 is just an 8, but
With another
gaps.
3
Yeah.
on the other way around
Yeah.
attached to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had excess Svalnäs, and we were like, hey, that's cool. We only had the uprights. We didn't have enough shelves for the
Yeah.
uprights. So like, hey, that's cool because Svalnäs is really good.
It's great.
Yeah.
Really good.
IKEA will want to buy this back from us.
But not only that, we were like, we'll probably want to put more Svalnäs on every surface of the house. Floors, ceilings, every wall.
If I had a choice,
It would be
it'd
Svalnäs
be walls.
all the way
Yeah.
down. Yeah. So then we tried to buy some shelves for Svalnäs.
No results.
No results.
Can't be done.
And of course, we knew what it was called. We knew the word.
You have the
we knew the
label.
password
Yeah.
because the label was on our upright still because it was still packaged. Google, IKEA, nothing. Didn't show up at all. And then you told me about the conspiracy, and then we started tumbling down the rabbit hole. And here we are now.
I don't call it conspiracy. It's just a company
No.
rightfully deciding to cancel
No,
one of their
but they
lines.
should at least acknowledge
That
it.
it used to exist.
Yeah, because like the Poang is a very famous chair.
Oh yeah,
They
we've got
love a
one.
poet. They still sell this.
Yeah, you just got rid of a Poang, I believe.
Well, if by got rid of you mean move to the
Downstairs.
front door.
It's nearly out the house.
I was getting it. But it'd be like IKEA trying to convince you that Poang never existed. It's like they're ashamed of it.
Yeah.
They've completely erased all record of it from them.
Either Svalnäs was too good for this world, or the reason it was good is because it was made of something like human bone, or like it had a soul. Maybe it had a soul that
Maybe
they'd
it had
taken
a
from
soul.
a person and they
It
put into
was
it.
made of that weird thinking wood.
That
that-
thinking wood. Yeah,
Yeah.
that. Maybe that's why. They can't keep making it because they're killing people to make it.
I choose to believe that every single Svalnäs upright was a single redwood that had to be like kind of just whittled down.
So much wasted.
So much sawdust after it.
But at the centre of every redwood is just the most perfect Svalnäs, right?
Yeah,
waiting to
they
be
just have to like
carved.
crack it to get. Oh, and it's just there.
Svalnäs!
But my point is, you had some excess Svalnäs, and weren't you going to like return it?
Yes, that was our Sunday.
And did they take it?
They
Well,
did.
with much faffing about.
Yeah, they said,
did. So
you
they were-
don't have a receipt. But what I heard was, it's a conspiracy. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I didn't have a receipt. So,
But we just scroll back through our bank statements and they're like, yeah, that'll be right.
that'll do. That looks like a
Conspiracy.
transaction.
And when you gave it back to them, were you like, it's in perfect condition. It's never been opened. You could resell that. Oh, of course. Where are you taking it?
Yeah, it was
Where's
really weird.
Where's it
'cause
going?
The transaction went totally normally, except for the guy in the hood.
Yeah.
On a
And then he
horse.
put a hood over the tops of the Svalnäs.
Yeah, they each had their own little hood
Yeah.
that just covered the whole of the upright. And then he just ushered them quietly
Yeah.
through a door that wasn't there before. Okay.
And then we heard, like, as the door closed, we thought we heard like a, but the door closed just as it was firing off, like an alarm sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
And then like a horseman of the apocalypse is summoned or something.
This is saying, so he went through a door, and then when you went to open the door, it wasn't a door; it was actually a door you could buy.
Yeah.
It was called Doer,
Yeah. And then I
it just
opened
came
it,
away.
and there was nothing there.
and it was amazing value.
Yeah.
Oh my
He
god!
was like, "Do you want that?" And I was like, "No." Yeah, it was a confusing time.
Yeah, I
for
can imagine.
everyone.
Yeah.
And then when I said, "Well, thanks for finishing off. Like, thanks for taking those," he was like, "Taking what?" So there's definitely a conspiracy. Definitely a conspiracy.
It annoys me in a way that you have gotten rid of your Svalnäs because I feel now
We
you
haven't got rid of it all.
We've
kept some.
got two. We've still got two.
Partly because I want to prove it always existed, but the IKEA may come for us because of this.
I was going to say this is Ocean's 11 kind of. Like,
But also partly because we have two uprights left. We also have two random shelves
Sure.
left as well. It's not enough to make my
A
soul
proper
sing
unit.
again. But we have, like, maybe we could find something.
It's our
on
little
eBay.
middle finger to the man.
Basically,
you know?
yeah. It's our way to say
Little
it's
Svalnäs.
there. I can give you one of the uprights if you like.
Just one.
Just to make you feel like you're not an idiot. You're not crazy.
yeah, it's going to take a lot.
Yeah. One bit of wood isn't going to stop a lot.
Well, I think that was enough warm up.
I'm feeling warm.
Who would like to start the next segment of the show? Who's got a hate?
I don't know how this works, so
Well, I could kick us
I
off
don't
with a
listen.
hate.
Oh, okay. Well, Nick's just going to dive in.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, we have actually talked a little bit about this before, but the thing is, I like to think of this podcast as something of therapy to help us work through things, right?
yeah, this is a supportive, safe space.
Yeah, and although I know I hate this, I don't really know why, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. The metaverse. Facebook have recently announced that not only that they want to create the metaverse, right?
Yeah.
But also they're going to change their company to be called Meta now, and Facebook is just one of their products. And I'm sure everyone's heard about this. So it's all everyone's talking about it on the internet. And I watched the whole presentation
Why?
because I can't cast judgment unless I have seen it all, right? Because we've all seen the clips of Mark Zuckerberg, and everyone's picked the same clips. And yes, he looks like a cursed mannequin brought to life by some sort of hex. I get it. He's very, very weird. Okay, he's very odd. But everyone's they've cherry picked the moments where he looks weird, and saying the weirdest
You're basically
things.
saying they've taken him out of context.
Yes.
He's normally fine.
Normal, yeah.
Wow.
He's like,
Maybe not quite that weird. You know?
I'm just like you. I enjoy a Svalnäs. Damn it, Mark.
He's just holding a mug.
Earlier today, I saw a clip of him being interviewed, and it basically he was responding to someone who'd like asked him something about Facebook, and he said, "Well, of course you would feel that way because you're a human, and I was a human. I mean, I am a human." He genuinely said, "I
What?
was a human."
Something's up. Something's definitely up. But like, so I thought, maybe it's all, we're all poking fun at Zuck. Maybe it's all taken out of context. It's not. It's fucking weird all the way through. But I needed to watch it to know that. I needed to.
Sure.
I'm sure you all understand
How
this.
long was this?
It's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow.
Something like that.
Cool.
I did skip a couple.
Real elevator pitch.
Yeah, there was a chapter. It was all chapterized on YouTube, and there was a chapter in the middle that was called Education. I was like, nope, skip that. And then there was a bit called Work and like Home Office. I was like, no, we don't want that. I wanted to see all the bits about like the Matrix, and about Ready Player One and all that stuff. And I should be really excited about this.
Why?
Well, not because I want a corporation to control my mind and vision, but because I love those stories about those sorts of virtual worlds. I love Ready Player One. And I know a lot of them are cautionary tales, but still, the characters within the stories have a lot of fun in those worlds. And I love fantasy and sci-fi. I should be excited that this technology is on the cusp of arriving to us all, but I'm not. And I'm freaked out by the whole presentation and the whole thing. And I don't know why.
The thing is, maybe everyone else at the table is a bit better informed than I am. But aside from the fact that he keeps saying the word metaverse,
He says it a lot.
don't actually know what it is he's selling.
And I think that's part of the problem.
Is anyone else better?
No, I mean, I found it very funny that Facebook managed to temporarily delete itself like a month ago. And I just barely understand enough about networking and how the internet like works as a technology to understand what they did. Just enough to find it funny that they managed that people who are vastly more qualified than me managed to do that. So the whole metaverse thing, I'm just like, well, he's just rebranding so that the horrible stuff that Facebook is doing to the world doesn't follow him around.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, that's the only reason he's doing it. And
That might be true.
I think it's just, it's becoming increasingly obvious that Facebook is just actually terrible for you.
Yeah, I mean, I hardly interact with it anymore, to be totally honest. Like, I don't really use it like a user.
Is the logo like... I genuinely don't know. This is a question. Is the logo... It's like the Facebook F has been, like, kicked over. And it's crawling,
and its legs
begging...
have been tied to its ankles.
Yeah.
And, it's
It's
been
like
tied.
it's crawling and begging for its life while
Yeah.
someone points a gun at it, and that's the logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the gun's really well rendered, actually.
Yeah.
It's like a revolver.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like an actual kind of like screen cap they've kind of just dragged in.
It's actually a JPEG photo of a man on his knees with a gun pointing at his head. It's really weird.
Kind of looks a bit like an M.
Kind of.
Yeah, you
But
gotta
really, it's just a JPEG of a man being threatened with a gun.
You've got to squint or cry a lot, like to really just make it
And
work.
I was.
Absolutely. The first time I saw it, when I was just kind of like quickly scrolling through, and I think a bunch of the memes had got mixed in with actual information. I honestly just thought it was big blue McDonald's M, like the big blue arches, basically.
It looks, it kind of looks like, I think it's a hoop that's been bent and then spun in 3D.
It's a bit like the Virgin logo.
Yeah, that sort of
Yeah.
infinity
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah, it is kind of. It's like an infinity on its side, but it's also like a one of those infinite
Like Mobius strip.
Mobius strips. So there's like another
Yes.
M in there.
Yeah.
Just a recursive nightmare,
Yeah.
forever kind of looping back in on itself with no beginning or
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
But no, I think
Invest.
Why now?
I think wasn't it you, Nick, who pointed out that the word metaverse actually comes from like classic cyberpunk literature.
Yeah.
And is a terrible thing.
Yes.
He's essentially called his business Skynet.
Yeah, I did a bit more research into this, and he hasn't coined the word, interestingly. So loads of people are calling what this next phase of the internet is going to be. They're calling it the metaverse, and he's kind of just, in a weird sort of way, trying to claim it.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's
like
kind of,
copywriting the word utopia.
yeah, kind of. And then naming your company after it, so it's definitely yours, weirdly. Like,
I mean, there is a company called Sky.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it's
I
been
suppose,
going on
yeah.
for a while.
Who are apparently quite litigious. If you
They
try and
are.
use the word Sky in anything you own, they will send
Yeah.
you a cease and desist, which is mad.
Really?
Yeah.
Just the word Sky, which a lot of people use, like, all the time.
Yeah.
And surely context is everything. Like if I
No.
want to watch like 24-hour football, I'd think Sky.
You would.
If I want to kind of gaze up at the majesty of being.
You'll
Look
get
at
sued.
the
But again, once again, like what is it? Because I've seen like 2 seconds of an ad,
Yeah.
and it appears to be a holographic man playing chess, and I don't think that's real.
No, it's not.
I think that's a lie.
No, or pretty much everything we see in the presentation is sort of
Like an
for
artistic
illustrative-
imagining.
Yeah, exactly. Like a render for how it all could be. And this is what's so weird about the presentation, because there's nothing tangible yet at all. He's talking very, very aspirationally about what he wants the metaverse to be, and all the work they're doing behind the scenes to build the infrastructure and everything so that these things can happen. And there's a lot of different things that are coming together, but essentially it's Ready Player One. It's this idea of you put on some glasses, whether they be AR glasses or VR glasses or a bit of both, and you get transported to a virtual world where you can do everything you could have previously done on the internet, but now with a greater level of interactivity, involvement, and presence. That's what he's selling.
I'm feeling nauseous just hearing you describe it. That's the thing. Like,
I know. I'm feeling sick.
I mean, like the very few times I've tried VR,
I see.
I
Actually
immediately-
nauseous.
I immediately feel nauseous. My brain can't process that clearly. But yeah, also it's just like, I think you were saying it's all illustrative. It's all kind of imaginative.
What we've seen so
vague.
far is,
And it kind of reminds me of the adverts that Microsoft put out when they were first trying to push cloud computing.
Oh, yeah.
When, you can't, even now it's kind of hard to describe to someone what cloud computing actually is.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's all right, Nick. We've only been doing it 97
It's Mark
episodes.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, no!
Oh, the Zuck truck's coming.
My phone, it's melting.
It's
There's
like
a hand coming out.
what they're describing is some sort of like seismic shift in how you interact with the internet. And
Yes.
the thing is, I don't really need that. This might be just the same way that TikTok was the point where social media left me behind. I might just be old now. Like,
The thing is, because that's not the case for me, though.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm confused, because I am messing around with TikTok, albeit mainly from a, viewer kind of perspective. But, I am kind of the person who's very early adoptee, is very, excited about things potentially earlier than I should be. I don't give, and sometimes it's right to be and sometimes it isn't. But I'm one of those front-end sort of people. I'm an early adopter. And yet, for some reason, this one, which in all other ways should be something I'm excited about, is making me feel a bit weird.
is it just because it's Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, maybe, because there's another thing he kept saying throughout the presentation was how it's all about people. It's all about connecting with people. And one of the lines he said, which is hilarious, one of the lines he said was other tech companies are trying to tell you more about their tech and get you to interact with their tech, but not us. Not us at Facebook. What we want is to get you to interact with each other and your friends. And I was just like,
while we watch
Yeah.
squatting naked on a pile of money, wearing a mask.
but that's just such bullshit, isn't it? You never built this thing out of the kindness of your heart to connect us all as friends together, did you? That was never the point. The point was to make money.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg invented Facebook because he couldn't get onto the yearbook team or
Yeah.
something, didn't he? It was like
Yeah.
he literally
Yeah.
he didn't
Without
have
spite.
he didn't have any friends, so he invented Facebook so he could have digital friends.
Yeah.
But
He's maybe not the person we want controlling the future of humanity's interaction with each other.
I'd like to reach out to any listeners. Tell us what they think by leaving a comment in the
Yeah,
Facebook
please,
group.
please like, subscribe, and comment. And all that.
Please
Yeah,
like,
actually,
engage with the post.
We're creating a show called Hate Meta Room, where we can all hang out in our various avatars. I'll be there as a really angry letter A from the logo, so you'll be able to tell it's me.
Yeah.
And I'll just be screaming the whole
Only
time.
we don't quite have virtual reality yet, so you actually just have to make a cardboard cutout of how you'd like to look and stick it over your webcam.
Yeah.
And that'll be.
And if you don't have a webcam, then you can just take a picture
You
of
can
that.
fuck off.
We don't want you.
We don't like your kind round here. If a company was gonna genuinely bring out, oh god, what do they call it in Ready Player One?
Oasis.
The Oasis.
The Oasis, yeah.
Yeah.
If a company was genuinely going to bring out the Oasis, I'd be waiting for Google to do it.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that Facebook?
I think they got burned with Google Plus. That was so sad, wasn't it?
Hey, Circles though.
Hey,
Oh
Circle
yeah.
Jerk.
I actually liked Circles. I just had nobody else there because there was nobody else.
There was no one else in my circle.
No,
Yeah.
but
It's just alone in a circle.
yeah, just me on my own in a circle. But I liked the concept of them.
Yeah, there was an idea. There was definitely an idea. But yes, you're right. I would expect Google to be the ones to do it.
because surely,
Because at least they've got the narrative path from the motto used to be don't be evil, and it's just gradually got, it's like that pencil where you
shortened to
yeah,
just be evil.
it's like that pencil that said too cool to do drugs, and every time you sharpened it, the message just got worse and worse, and eventually told you to just do drugs. It's like that. Like, Google's been gradually just like reducing their motto bit by bit.
Yeah, but at least Google feel like there isn't a face for Google, which I think helps.
Yeah.
Because like Facebook's got Zuck and like
MySpace had Tom.
yeah,
They still
Amazon-
have Tom, really.
Oh, okay.
He's
He's
still
still
never
there.
left. Yeah.
They've kept him in stasis.
Hasn't found his way out.
But like
yet.
Amazon's got Jeff Bezos and like Elon Musk for Tesla and all
Twitter's
that.
got that Jack guy.
Oh, I don't know that one. Who cares?
Yeah. It's weird.
But like, I feel like Google is weirdly faceless and also kind of feels like unbiased because they seem very techy, whereas Facebook is very like addy and people-y.
Yeah.
And it's got Zuckerberg.
But this feels very like if somebody walked onto Dragon's Den and said half the things that the Zuck put out in this metaverse pitch, they get laughed. They get laughed off stage. Evan would kick him down the stairs.
Yeah, and
you
like
know,
so.
because it's like this is all just empty nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas because also this all sounds great, but who's going to develop the hardware to let you do these things?
Well, he's
Yeah,
saying
at least Google had Google Glass.
But this is my point. This is what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're developing all of this hardware.
Yeah, but developing.
Yeah,
I'm developing the hardware right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 You know, I develop 2 significant hardwares a day. And it's like Steve Jobs didn't get up on a stage unless he at least had a thing
It's
he
true.
could show you.
It's very true.
A hologram of an old man playing chess, which is a
you've seen
video.
it? Yeah.
It's not going to.
No.
Yeah, it's not going to make me think.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it all feels very like empty promises.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I like maybe the idea is that Zuckerberg's going, we're creating the future, we're creating the metaverse, and then the Google executives are just laughing because everyone has to Google metaverse to get to his
They're
website.
making
So,
billions of them.
and they can send him wherever they want.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can ever be wrong for hating Zuckerberg.
No, that's probably true. Well, I don't hate him.
I don't know him personally.
No, I think that's
guess.
okay. I think it's you're allowed.
I'm allowed to hate him,
Yeah, you're
'cause
allowed
he's
to
not
hate.
human.
Everyone gets one.
I mean,
Yeah.
he
He
admitted
was human.
He was human.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He may be just every personality that's ever been downloaded into Facebook. Like anyone who's ever died who's on Facebook has just like uploaded their personality and they just keep getting added to Mark Zuckerberg. And so he was human, but now he's like some sort of multi-dimensional
humans.
multi-being.
Yeah.
Of like,
He does look a bit like a shell, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like a kind of.
Yes.
He looks like a shapeshifter. I feel
Yeah.
like.
He hasn't aged at all in the
Yeah.
time that we've seen.
He
him.
might be humanity's lifeboat. Like when the rest of us all die, he'll
climb
just be
into Zuckerberg.
holding. Yeah,
We'll
he'll
all
just be
live on
holding
inside.
all of our
The
memories.
metaverse is within him.
Yeah.
His brain
Oh
is
my
going to be
God.
our playground. when
That
we
makes
die.
sense.
It does make sense, actually.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Hey, look, we're all having a lot of fun here, but can we all just agree that he does look, no, utterly seriously now, he does look as though if you touched him, he would just go in. You know what I mean? Like you touch his face and like a kind of
Like a stress ball.
like a bogling.
Yeah,
it
like
would
a
just
boggling.
it would just kind of like just flump in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like someone who needs to get some vitamin D. You know?
It's like he's a loosely inflated flesh balloon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Mark.
No.
No one agrees. Who else has got hate?
I got a hate.
Yay.
And it's a really simple one compared to that. So I'm.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We can speed through
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Speed through it, nice and quick. I hate people who speed up between speed bumps and then slow down to an absolute crawl just to go over the speed bump.
What would you rather they do? Like bounce over the speed bump?
I would rather
some
they
hazard.
drove down the entire road at a speed that is appropriate for both the speed bump areas and the not speed bump areas, which is what the speed bumps are for.
Nah. Nah. They're just there for that like meter of space,
So wait.
and then you can speed off.
So you'd accelerate to like
Hard.
70 miles an hour between like 20
No,
meters and then
no.
hard brake.
If I'm in a 30 zone, I will drive 30. I won't drive 25. I won't drive 35. I will drive 30. And if a speed bump forces me to slow down for the sake of my suspension, I will. But then I'm back up to 30 again, even if it's only 10 meters till the next one, because this is the 30, goddammit. If you want me to go 20, then put a 20 sign up.
But surely the speed bump is not like, it's not a perfect triangle. Like
It's a
it-
Toblerone.
Yeah, the speed
Yeah.
bump should be of a side that means you can go the speed you're meant to go
Yeah.
on
It
the
should
street
do. It
and
should do,
go over
yeah.
it without damaging
I
your car.
agree. I agree.
Like the speed bumps down the road that is right outside our house here. If you go 28 miles an hour down the whole road, you will be fine. But I'm so fed up of getting getting behind people who are going like vroom, vroom, vroom.
There's a great solution now, because the speed bumps don't go right across the road. There's a gap in the middle.
Yeah,
Oh.
just verge into oncoming traffic.
Oh,
just
but
way.
that's the appendix of this hate, though. That's the little nubbin off the side. Is
Yeah.
people are like,
Well, in a
swerving
smart
around.
car, it's fucking tiny.
Yeah,
I can
squeeze
go.
through.
I can go.
You have a
through that gap.
two-dimensional car, though.
Exactly. It's like that Harry Potter bus.
Oh, what's that? More racism in there.
Yay!
No, wait, no, not racism.
The other one.
Transphobia, that's the one, yeah.
Whatever it is, it's in those films.
Yeah,
and
some
stories.
sort of ism.
Yeah.
But no, it just really irritates me. And I think what kind of solidified it for me is when we were coming back from a friend's hen do, and we were in a taxi, and the taxi was doing it. I got out of the taxi and was just so nauseous.
Oh no.
Like
Oh,
I was
really?
like, I need to get out of this taxi. I was willing to just get out of the taxi early and walk the rest of the way home if he would stop. Like if he'd properly come to a stop, I might have just got out of the taxi.
Taxi drivers are a law unto themselves, though, aren't they?
Yeah. It's just horrible. I just, it's not sensible. I don't like things that aren't sensible. It's not efficient. It is not how the road is supposed to be driven on.
Yeah.
But also,
Agreed.
I get that people are like, oh, I want to preserve my suspension.
Yeah.
you
They all
know.
clearly don't want to preserve their fuel consumption.
But at the same time, like, they're not driving like some kind of porcelain car
No.
that is like, worth millions.
Yeah.
It's like they're driving.
Fabergé egg.
Yeah, they're driving like a kind of like a 2004 Skoda
Yeah.
sort of thing.
You
you know?
break your suspension.
No,
You broke our suspension.
I
at
broke
one
your
time.
suspension. What did I do?
When it was actually my previous car, so it wasn't that Yaris that's out there. My previous car, we went to MCM and we overloaded it, and the
Oh.
the-
I overloaded it.
I mean, I think it was because we were trying to fit what would have fit into both our cars from an MCM into one car with the four of us.
Why did we think that would work?
I don't know, but we did it, and
well, technically it did work.
it did
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, there
It
we
was
go.
just then the words of my guy at the garage were basically my suspension is crying.
We were riding pretty
Dirty.
low, pretty
Yeah.
dirty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those speed bumps in the MCM
They
or
are
in the
temporary.
XL
They are
thing
killer.
are vicious. Like
Yeah,
those
they're
are
gone
ones.
now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they got rid of
Okay.
them. Probably because someone died.
Yeah,
Probably.
but those are ones you definitely want to go over at a
They
slow
just snapped
speed.
their neck as they went over there.
Yeah, pentagonal.
Yeah.
kind of scheme.
But yeah, there you go. So my hate's quite simple. A thing that irritates me.
Maybe the issue is more that the speed bumps are too severe. That if people could maintain 30 over them, they wouldn't speed up and slow
I-
The
down.
thing is, that I can. Like
Oh.
I can driving my very old Toyota Yaris. I can just go at like 28, 29 miles an hour the whole way down the road, and it's completely fine.
It's a 30 though.
Yeah, but there's
That extra mile just
there's a
tips
bit
it
of
over.
wiggle room in the speedometer.
I am with you on this, my love, my wife, because I nothing gives me greater pleasure than when I'm driving along behind someone who's doing this, and they're like, they go to like a crawl. They could do the worm over that speed bump, and I'm just doing like a steady pace behind them, and I'm like,
Smack into the back of it.
but I'm like, but I just almost
That'll learn you.
almost take a point where I'm like,
Yeah.
my car can take this. Your car can take this. Like, this thing is still on the road. We haven't just shattered our bones.
Hasn't failed an MOT in years. Like it's
Yeah.
fine.
Maybe we're just not sympathetic enough to old people. They go
I
over the
don't
speed
think-
bumps.
all old.
and
I
their
don't
hips
think it's
just
old
come off.
people. I think it's
Oh.
I
This
think
is
it's
just
boy
us.
racers. Like I think it's people who are so bloody precious about their crappy little Fords that they've stuck a spoiler
Yeah.
on the back of for no reason whatsoever.
If they've lowered their car, then
Yeah.
it will fuck it up if they drive over
Don't
like that.
lower your car if you're driving in a country that has speed bumps. If your car can't go over a speed bump, it's not road legal. So
There you go.
I was watching.
Spoken.
Because I'm a trash person, I watch idiots in cars compilations on YouTube because I'm a bad, horrible
I'm
person.
a bad.
I'm
Just
just bad. And there was somebody had a vehicle which was both riding low and riding dirty.
Ooh.
And it
What a
had
treat.
just the grimiest kind of spoilers you could imagine. And then they tried to go up a curve very slowly. They weren't like going fast. I assume a buddy came and just like kind of was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then just kind of like just took the spoiler off the car. I was like, oh, they've done well. And then they mount the curb, and then the rear end just rips off. So that wasn't good.
No, guess that didn't work out.
Yeah, there's so many cars in those videos that just go straight into shops.
It's kind of terrifying.
What is wrong with America that so many cars just park inside the shop?
Just don't want to walk. They just don't want to walk.
Maybe they're just glass blind.
Yeah, I kind of watch those videos
Like pigeons.
to keep
Yeah.
me honest, because I'm
bugs.
like, yeah, I want to be driving in a state of constant terror, because I think that keeps me honest.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. That's healthier.
I don't want to get complacent.
I think maybe it doesn't help that I don't enjoy driving as an activity. Like
No,
I
I
do
don't
I do
enjoy
it because I
driving
have to do it.
Aw.
I don't like doing it.
I love driving.
And therefore I just get incredibly irritated at anybody else who's just not obeying the rules of the road. I'm like, none of us want to be here. We just have to get through this whole situation and get to the destination
ordeal.
in one piece.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we all just obey the rules, everything will go fine. It's like I get quite angry at people who hog the middle lanes on motorways
yeah.
as well. It's like if the motorway has a rule, you go down to the lowest lane that you need.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, there we go. Rant. Cars irritating.
Yeah.
Oh, the standoff.
Oh. Who's got hate?
I don't mind going next.
Okay.
So mine is also app related, but it's not Facebook related. So my hate is the app which is Nextdoor.
The app which is next door. So
Yeah,
next door.
Nextdoor.
Next door.
And I actually really love Nextdoor, but I hate it. Like, I can't stop looking at it. And for anyone unfamiliar, Nextdoor is like a local social network that you join using your postcode, and then you're only able to see and connect with people that are like within probably like a 3-mile radius to you. People
thing is,
can-
we're living in the biggest damn postcode in the whole
yeah,
of
yes, it's quite a lot. And yeah, people can just post whatever's on their mind. Anything political causes
Ooh.
quite a storm.
It does.
Um,
Sometimes you'll get people saying, "This isn't a place for that.
Yeah.
This is about local issues only. Don't post political
And then there's
stuff."
posts about that.
And then there are people going, "Well, I think what this app is all about community, and the community is made up of people, and some of those people have opinions about things, and so I think it's fine if I talk about
And
that."
then that whole thread will get removed. And so then someone will post about, why was my thread removed? Was it too political?
Yeah.
And then,
there was a thread about Svalnäs, and that got removed. And it's like, what's going on?
Wait, this sounds worse than Facebook.
Yes.
It kind of is,
I
yeah.
uninstalled it.
I've gone through and taken some screenshots of like some posts that
Oh.
I thought were particularly
tell. Show
great.
and tell.
Particularly next door. Particularly chef's kiss next door.
Do you,
Can, can you censor it to make sure that no one can be identified?
Sure,
Just,
sure. Yeah, I won't
Yeah.
do any names.
Just use first names only.
But this-
Or then alternate with letter.
So this person posed, the topic is bicycle bells. And
I'm already annoyed. I can feel the rage rising.
bear in mind, this has 40 comments, so this
Wait,
is really...
Alex, isn't there one about speed bumps on there that I think is... So maybe just take that one off.
Oh,
'cause I
yeah.
think that was easy.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, won't read that one.
I'm not angry at speed bumps. I'm angry at people
love
not
speed
obeying the
bumps.
speed bumps.
So yeah, the topic is bicycle bells. This has 40 comments and 20 likes.
is that pretty good? for
That's
Nextdoor?
That's
Yeah.
popular.
This is
That's viral.
That is viral
Powerful
on the
topic.
Nextdoor
Sorry, no,
circuit.
they call it local. on Nextdoor. It's gone local. Wow.
Oh, 7 people.
Okay, the post says, why do so few cyclists have bells on their bikes these days, apart from a total lack of common sense and common courtesy? That's the question.
Oh, so you're not allowed to give either of those options as the answer.
No.
Like, okay.
Apart from
A total lack of common sense and common courtesy.
Do they
So why
want...
do they have few have bells on them?
Guarantee that if they did, that person would be complaining about all the bicycle bells.
What's with all these bells I
Can't
keep hearing?
sleep at night with all the bicycle bells.
What this person... So basically what this person is saying is they've been hit by cyclists a lot.
Well, I
Maybe
feel like they
they're
would
the
have
pro-
said if
Maybe-
they were hit.
Constantly running into the
Yeah,
path of
so
bikes.
what kind of a day have they had to think, I'm going to go not Facebook, next door and complain that so few bikes have bells?
because no, but you make a good point,
This is
John.
what- yeah.
Because how do you know someone doesn't have a bell unless something's happened?
Unless you're in the way of
Yeah.
them.
But they couldn't
Just
alert
jumping
you.
out, it's like...
I don't go next door. Why don't cars have horns anymore?
I've been jumping out into traffic for weeks and no one's honked at me.
The thing is, I do have a vaguely related anecdote to this. A few
Okay.
weeks ago, I was in town and, town starting to get very busy on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a part of town which is not fully pedestrianised, but it is effectively pedestrianised because the road is for buses only, basically. So there are no other traffic is permitted through, only the buses. And so me and my sister were just walking in the road because a bus is a pretty big thing that you can spot. When
And it's a
coming.
one-way road
You
as
just,
well.
want,
so
yeah.
you just
can
wanted
see.
to end it.
Yeah.
It
Well, it was
that
busy,
bad.
so we were walking in the road, and then someone like right behind me yells, "Get out of the way!" And it's a delivery driver on a bike. To which I'm like, he was like, "Oh, just get out of the way," and I'm like, "Get a bell!
Get a bell.
I'm a woman walking through the centre of town on a Saturday. I don't listen to anyone yelling at me."
No.
Like,
Do the opposite.
yeah, like so yes, that person should have had a bell. If you
Hashtag
were,
get a
like-
bell.
Yeah,
But also,
get a bell.
the cool thing about delivery drivers is that they're like turtles. Like, if you kick him,
Yeah, it would just fall on
he's,
his
not
backpack.
he's not getting up. Yeah.
Yeah, he will crush the Chinese meal. That is the delicious steamed buns in his backpack. But he'll be safe and be stuck on his back.
So yes, I have
In the
had a
road.
recent
In the road.
Safe.
Super safe though.
I have had a recent experience of someone who should have had a bell and did not.
Maybe this is what this person got to. Maybe this is Lucy as well.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not me.
to give a
It could have been anybody else along that street, though.
Yeah.
speaking as a cyclist,
Do you have a bell?
I do have a bell.
Thank God.
I often feel quite embarrassed to ring it because I don't want to make a scene. So I try to just like
So British.
so if someone's in my way, I'll generally just like slow down. I go, oh, they'll notice. I don't want to ring the bell, and then they don't notice.
I don't want to be a dick.
And then I'm just kind of like crawling along behind them. Oh, this is weird now.
Now it's like I'm a stalker on a bike.
This next post says there was some weird guy cycling right behind me. So...
Well, I was going up the I was cycling to work the other week, and there were like who posted that? Karen, Linda.
I can't give names.
Could you come up with a fake name that's somehow similar to the name?
Bo Jomley.
Okay, I think I know.
Well, Bo Jomley. I was cycling to work, and there were 4 Bo Jomleys walking their dogs, like filling the entire lane. You know, just walking like in a line dance,
On purpose.
Yeah, and so I rang my bell. And I wasn't going fast, but I rang my bell, and they turn and look at me and they go, oh. And then they all kind of just like...
Scattered.
No, they all kind of like They mill around. Like everyone takes like a few steps in one direction and goes, oh, no.
So they're still
And
blocking
they,
the way.
and then they just continue walking.
They just
and like,
gave up.
And I'm like...
And achieved nothing.
And by which point, I have come to an almost complete stop behind them. And I ring my bell again, and then they turn and look at me and go, oh, yes.
You're
and then
basically
they'll-
a sheepdog in that situation.
Yes! Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're the sheep.
I know.
You
and
could have
I'm
got
like,
them to go anywhere. You could have herded them into your house.
Yeah, or into a pen of some kind.
oh, I'm so sorry.
An abattoir.
Am I annoying you?
Yeah.
Am I inconveniencing you? For God's sake.
Would you like some more
Yeah, go on.
snippets? Does anyone know of any natural water springs in Cheltenham? I go to Malvern to get my drinking water, but there must be some springs in Cheltenham.
They go all the way to Malvern
They
for
don't
drinking
have a
water.
tap.
Oh, I can't drink the tap water. It's got 5G in it.
But
Probably.
also, they've been going to Malvern, like, for how long? Like, they've only just thought to ask if there's any, like,
It's like
actually...
a 40-minute drive away if traffic's on your side.
For water!
water. Just from a spring.
I mean, you could go up to Seven Springs, or you could,
There's 7 of them.
The place is called Seven Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
I
giveaway.
mean, technically, there's a majestic river Chelt running.
Oh, I wouldn't
in
do
I wouldn't
in
want
a
to drink any
ditch.
of it. Like,
In a ditch.
But where do they think water just comes from in general? Like, are they taking like an urn?
Yeah, how much water do they get
Yeah.
from Malvern? And I guess
No,
they
I
load
can
up
ask
gallons
some
into their
follow-up
car.
questions if you like.
Yes, please do.
I mean, how many? It had 27 comments, so there's probably some good
Oh, I didn't quite go
information
local.
there.
No.
I'll just do a couple more. Someone says, bumped into our local MP yesterday in Pret.
Unlucky.
Lovely man. I always seem to bump into famous people in toilets.
there's only one toilet in Pret.
And someone
I'm going to
comments,
say only one toilet in Cheltenham.
someone comments, what was he doing?
1 or 2.
Was he canvassing
I don't think he's human.
with one hand or two? I don't know.
And then finally,
He's
a
a
lot.
fact checkers because he's a prick. I'm just putting it out there.
And very like people love to share photos like sunrise or a deer that they photographed from 10 miles away. And someone shared this photo.
I can't pass that. What
I
is
think
that?
It's
an
a bee.
insect.
It's a bee.
Oh
of
yeah,
some
I
bee.
see. Yep.
It's quite a bad photo. It's very pixelated. Someone has clearly digitally zoomed in about 100 times
Of a bee
this
on a
bee.
leaf.
It's quite overexposed, and it says, "Happy day, wishing you a wonderful Wednesday."
Oh, that's
Great. What does that add?
You couldn't even come up with a bee pun.
No.
Like Happy Wednesday. Or
Oh,
something.
That's
Yeah.
very good. Yeah, that's good.
So
Yeah,
Nextdoor is basically like Facebook if it ran on Steam.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, if the people using it ran on Steam, they just like, there's
It's
nothing
boomer
between
Facebook.
their ears. Yeah, it is boomer Facebook.
Well, Facebook is boomer Facebook.
That's true.
no, but this is like curtain twitching kind of
Yeah.
just stream of consciousness.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, I've
I
told
feel
you.
like this is what Facebook was maybe 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of love it because it's just so entertaining, but I hate it because just it's so asinine. Most of the content is just stupid. Like we had a conversation the other day about a post where someone had just stated that a lap dancing license had been given for a venue,
Yeah.
and it just threw a grenade into
Yeah.
the chat
Which
box.
again, when you mentioned it, I was like, that happens every year.
Yeah.
Every year that the races are on in Cheltenham, that venue gets a lap dancing license.
Yeah.
Like, it's not new.
Yeah. But oh my god, it just brings out all the interesting opinions of everyone.
When does it happen though? You know, when does that switch flick in your head?
Where you're like, I'm going to post on Nextdoor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Like
you're
there was
suddenly
There was one I read a few days ago that was I was out walking my dog and there was a man petting the dogs as they went past and then he pretended to be sick. So watch out.
There's a guy out there who pretends to be sick.
And then they posted a few days later, like I saw him again. He's actually really nice, so don't worry.
Maybe he was just actually ill.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's the thing I said to you at the time. I was like, if I was like 20 feet away from a man, I wouldn't know whether he was pretending to be sick or not.
yeah.
No.
And what does he gain by pretending to be
Yeah.
sick?
it's this idea that
don't
like
know.
the world is horrible and I don't understand it. And I don't go on that Facebook because I don't
Facebook's horrible.
because I don't like chatting with strangers and it's full of it's weird people on Facebook. That's why I use Nextdoor. And just this belief that like anything you see is in some way a grand conspiracy against you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be like, my neighbour was shoveling leaves the other day.
Yeah.
You know.
What's within them?
Okay,
He left
yeah.
a big pile. He's probably concealed some drugs.
He does this every week. You know, full stop.
Yeah.
What a shit.
Cult? Question mark.
I went to IKEA recently looking for Svalnäs and I couldn't find it anywhere. Sorry.
Hasn't Nextdoor like genuinely got into trouble with like a lot of like it's called particularly in America there's a lot of like racist problems with
Really?
Nextdoor
Oh,
because
God.
it will be like
Of course.
it will be somebody going like I saw a black man. I'm a bit suspicious. I'm like, and he's like, Deborah, I've been your neighbour for like 15 years. I'm like, you know,
The funny thing is, like, quite often with Nextdoor, there'll be a post, when I used to have it, there'd be a post like, I've seen a weird man in the neighbourhood. And every time I saw that, I was like, oh shit, is it me? Every time I was like, maybe it's me.
but yeah, if you were like Pokemon going,
Yeah. I'm
Well,
out.
there is actually a story about that. So our friend Louis, shout out to Louis, his dad got called out on Nextdoor. They were like, we see a weird man every day lurking on the corner. And
He
Louis,
seems to have 9 phones.
yeah, and Louis had to comment going, oh no, that's my dad playing Pokemon Go. He likes to stop off at the Pokestop every day. And he's like trying to exercise and walk a lot. Yeah, Pokemon Go has got people into trouble.
But because they can jump on things that aren't seemingly that, like, they're super innocuous things,
Yeah.
and suddenly, like, someone's super
just
suspicious.
curtain twisters.
If the subject line is saw a weird man, I'm like, well, that could be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I could just
You
be
are
going
a
about
weird
my
man.
business. Plus, I am pretty weird.
Yeah.
yeah, and because you look well, still
go,
a
here
little,
we go.
a little young and vibrant,
And you've
still.
got tattoos.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah, they'd be
Like a
suspicious.
yakuza.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw a man walking. I saw a young man walking in the middle of the day.
I love when you got your eyes closed when you say this.
He looked about 15 years old. And
Should
was
he be at
covered
school?
Yes, he should be at school.
I
He
saw-
wasn't wearing uniform.
I saw a man who looked as though he was in his early 30s, but he was wearing a Pokemon blazer. I find this quite suspicious.
P.S. Where did he get a Pokemon blazer from? Because I want one.
He was eating.
He pushed a sausage roll directly down his gullet.
And then he pushed another one into my dog's mouth, and I don't know why.
He was eating a family-sized bag of pom bears.
And then he pretended to be sick, although he may have actually been really sick because he'd eaten 17 sausage rolls in the time I saw him.
I like have a challenge actually. I think we should all try and get on Nextdoor, like get talked about on Nextdoor.
Oh, I could do that so
Let's
No.
like weird our neighbours out.
This is the exact.
Our
no.
neighbours already hate us.
Yeah, I guarantee I'd open Nextdoor and they'd be bitching about.
Yeah, it'll be next door complaining about us constantly.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh. Well, is there a way we can see? No, probably not. Are you in the same postcode?
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
Yeah, we'll be in the same
We'll look out.
general
We'll
postcode.
look
Yeah,
out.
we'll keep an eye
I
out.
do not want to know my neighbours that well.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Maybe that says some more about me than it does about Nextdoor.
No, I think it's
but
fine.
like, yeah.
Well,
Well, there you go.
there we go. So I'd recommend join on Nextdoor. Anyone that's interested who wants some
Do
entertainment.
you want to go local?
I reckon if you are even remotely chaotic evil, you could have a blast.
Oh,
yeah.
You could be running next
Yeah.
door in a week.
Basically, Emperor of Nextdoor.
Oh, just to finish off, there was a guy who's 93 and he's like, should I get a tattoo? I've never had one. And someone was like, I think you should wait a few years and think about it.
That's an amazing answer.
Fucking hell. I've got to hate.
Go on,
Oh
Em.
yay!
I hate the sentimental arms race of Christmas adverts.
This was my second option.
Oh, here
for
we
a
go.
hate. That's
Here we
perfect. I'm
go.
so glad you brought it.
So, because we do have some international listeners, and I'm so sorry because none of this will mean anything to anyone. But
I think they.
They're
Well,
on YouTube.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
well,
Come up on YouTube.
I think everyone to some extent has the saccharine
yeah.
Christmas ad.
Okay, well,
syndrome.
Christmas adverts have always been a little manipulative and saccharine, you know. Always about family. It's about kind of.
A dragon.
Well. It kind of there's
Please spend all your money.
but it
please.
kind of
Please.
But something happened, probably within the last 10 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
Where John Lewis,
Yeah.
which is a big department store.
John Lewis dropped the nuke.
Yeah.
They
think.
did. I can't even remember what their first advert was.
Is that the bear in the hair?
No,
or
I think it
something?
was
That
even
was that
before
was
that.
yeah, that was a later one. That
Oh.
was at the point where people were waiting for the John Lewis advert.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was already then.
But they did a Christmas ad, which was kind of like a short movie, for lack of
Yeah.
a better word. And they're like, we're not going to fill our advert with tat. We're going to fill our advert with heartwarming vibes, and we're going to make everyone cry because it's going to be so beautiful. And then our logo, our tasteful logo, will
Yeah.
just kind of pop up at the end.
It'll basically just be a story, and then at the end it will just say John Lewis.
And people went gangbusters for it. Like they couldn't get enough of it. And then it created this arms race where every kind of supermarket, kind of department store in the UK, it became a battle to see who could be the most twee, who could be the most kind of just insufferably.
Because what it could have been was a battle to see who could be the most creative. But it
Yeah.
isn't that. It isn't that at all because they're not being creative. They're very much working within one channel, which is that twee, bullshit, saccharine, family first shit. I hate
Well,
it.
there's a few. The thing that gets me to the current example, one that really kind of pushed me over the edge, is so let's just on this journey, and to show how weird we've gotten as a country, where we've just lost our minds. A few years ago, I think there was a local connection because when I was working at this institution I work for, which is just no one's ever worked out what that is, there was some local filmmaker made some short film around Christmas time, which was about, I don't know, there was a homeless person in it or something. Let's just tick all the boxes about how kind of heartwarming it can be. And people loved it so much, it went viral, that there was a petition to get John Lewis to use it as their Christmas ad, as if it's like a Queen's honour.
Yeah.
It's
you know?
like, it's like the greatest honour a film could possibly receive.
And I'm like, do you not understand how anything in the world actually works?
It kind of speaks to like the total obliviousness that people have as well. It's like that John Lewis advert that is officially made has so much product placement.
Yeah.
Like it's so carefully crafted to manipulate you into maximum capitalism.
yeah, to buy
Like,
things.
don't think that just some student or whatever guy can just get his movie as the John, because they'll look at it and go, well, there's no Bose headphones and there's no, kettle or
where are the 14 different types of biscuits that we want to sell you?
Exactly. Like there's no
They
product
never use
placement.
it. They never use
Yeah,
it.
but people have no idea that they're even being sold to in that way, that they they can see that being used.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, and it's insane, and then and then you might have to fill in the blanks here, but was it Oldie who last year or the year before gave us a carrot?
Yeah.
And not only was it a lovable carrot mascot, but it was a toy that you could buy.
It was old Carrot Family.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you could buy all of them.
Yeah, this is the ever expanding theory of lovable mascots. Where, they had a living carrot. A living carrot.
But people were killing each other in the aisles to get hold of these.
Yeah.
Because they didn't make enough.
Ironically enough, they were stabbing each other with actual carrots.
With actual
to get to the
sharpened carrots. Yeah.
And this year, and I think it's Oldie, and this one
is Oldie.
has attracted my ire because it's an unskippable bloody ad on YouTube. And you can't miss it. And what they've gone with this year is it's a banana. A Christmas banana.
It's like a CGI banana.
But it's a squat banana.
It's like a chibi banana.
It's like a plantain.
orange.
Yeah.
Chibanana.
Yeah,
It's like a completely natural banana before we mutated all the bananas.
It's Banana Zero, basically. Who's a Dragon Ball Z character.
It's correct, yes.
So
everything is.
It's a squat little Diddy banana with arms, legs, and a face.
What are they made of?
Banana.
Other bananas.
Banana.
Oh, okay.
No, they just
Micro
they've
bananas.
just formed out of the banana plasm.
So they're yellow as well. It's
Yeah, they're just
Okay.
No,
like,
it's cute.
yeah.
It's cute.
Sure.
It's cute.
Yeah.
okay. So it's like there's a man trapped inside the banana.
Well,
No,
it's
don't
like,
overthink.
No, it's like the banana inner bit is like that's the natural form and it's born without limbs, but its exoskeleton has like plug-in
I
arms
see.
and legs kind of.
He could have had a cannon.
I'm
But-
getting that warm and fuzzy feeling already.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hearing about this.
So, and it's a fixed camera shot, presumably all CGI, of a plate on Christmas night where all the little children, in the UK, maybe other countries are different, but they'll leave a glass of milk and a mince pie out for Santa, and maybe a carrot for the reindeer.
Yeah.
I just got the carrot thing. I did wonder why carrots.
I'm glad we can help with that. That's good.
Well, I
It's
didn't.
only taken me a year, so fine.
Well, I haven't seen the carrot ad, but one would assume the carrot got devoured by Rudolph, and that was the happiest.
I mean,
Super
that-
gory.
It just
Yeah.
spits the skeleton out at the end.
That is the traditional ending that is the traditional ending of all anthropomorphic food. You have to assume that that's their nirvana.
It's
to
usually
eat
what they
it.
want,
Yeah.
isn't it? They
Yeah.
want to be eaten.
So we're already coming from that bad place of we want our lovable thing to be
to
eaten.
die.
Yeah. So we have a cute squat banana. So there's a few journeys my brain's having to go on already. I'm like, okay, so fruit's alive in this world, but the mince pie isn't. It's a regular mince pie.
Well, the mince pie is made of fruit bodies.
Yeah.
So
Oh, God, so
prepared
that's-
food.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
just a
It's like a
grave.
tomb.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a coffin.
It's a sarcophagus for all the bananas,
my
like
God.
Dismembered,
dismembered
fruit parts.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. So you have a mince pie, and you have a banana.
Which, like, for context, no one ever does.
No, that's
no
just
one
about-
puts a banana
no.
out for Santa. That doesn't happen.
This isn't like, oh, but you can't say that with certainty. Well, no, actually,
No, I can't.
No, you can't.
Objectively,
Yeah.
no one has ever and will ever do that.
No one's ever put a Christmas banana out.
Christmas banana isn't a word, John.
No,
Take that back.
No, I'm sorry I used those two words.
Pretty sure I heard that phrase on Eurotrash.
Yeah.
A Christmas banana.
Yeah, it's
No
a sex
one
position.
Putting the
but that's-
Christmas banana out.
Keep going. You can do it.
I can do it. Okay. So we have a mince pie and we have a Christmas banana with
Stop it.
with a face and limbs,
Yes.
and then we have a hand because it's all one fixed camera. We have a hand come into shot. It's
Santa
a
hand.
Giant banana.
a leather gloved hand.
Stop it.
It's
You're not helping with the kinky vibes
It's-
No.
here.
It's
Like-
Daddy Santa.
Black glossy leather with a belt around the wrist.
Oh, no.
PVC Santa comes in. So it's a black gloved hand, and like you see a red sleeve with white trim, and it comes in, and the little banana's like, ooh, yeah. Literally, it's like, oh, Santa.
Oh, I've watched it. I've
Oh,
seen
Santa, pick me. Oh, Santa. And then,
Is the banana actually voiced?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, no, he's talking.
talks, yeah.
Is it James Corden,
Well, probably.
Chris Pratt?
It's either one.
Chris Pratt will apparently voice anything, so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
And the hand comes in, picks up the mince pie because fuck me, it's Christmas and
Yeah.
I don't want a banana.
No, who does?
And Santa takes the mince pie off camera, and the banana goes, "No, Santa, why didn't you pick me? Oh, I hate Christmas." And then it stops. And this is like a 20-second unskippable ad. And and they're not going to leave it on a cliffhanger because we're still in November. Like, this
But
is
that
gonna...
is where the ad ends, though. That's
Yes.
what's mad. It
Yeah, but
ends
there'll
with
be,
a,
like,
with a
new
character.
episodes.
Yeah, but it ends with a character saying, "I hate Christmas," which is already pretty radical.
Yeah, so we've got now, but wait, Nick, it's okay though. We got
Oh, thank God.
7 to 8 weeks to turn this around. Now.
Okay, no, thank you.
And you've worked in advertising.
I still do.
This is the brand journey we're now all going on. Where this is the grim pact.
I know. I'm
that's been
excited
made.
to see episode 2.
So I'm a bit worried that Oldie keeps picking fruits and vegetables that are very pointy, given that their choices of cuddly mascot tend to lead to riots.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should really go for more like oranges or something, like something
Yeah.
squishy that's not gonna
But what if they?
doesn't have any sharp edges.
But
It's
what-
me, the Christmas gun. Oh no.
But what if they released like you mentioned, like it shouldn't be cuddly, so they release a Christmas toy and they're like, oh, plush toys, they're so done. What if you released the banana but made out of a completely different material, like he was made out of clay or something like that?
And he has a button like you press, and he's like, "I hate Christmas."
I hate Christmas.
No,
Where, like
I
you
think-
press him and he just deforms and doesn't spring back. Like, oh no,
It's just clay.
Yeah. I think the ultimate like fuck you to the banana would be to make tiny little white chocolate bananas. So you're not even like selling bananas with this; you're just selling little white chocolate, like
So he still
nibbly
doesn't
bananas.
get eaten.
Yeah,
But is it meant?
and it still doesn't increase the fruit and vegetable intake of anybody in the
that's
country.
the point, though. Like, is the journey meant to be that Santa's going to learn to love to eat fruit on Christmas, and then Oldie's going to be like, "Surprise, dickhead! We're teaching you to love fruit." But then every kid is going to go, "Mommy, Daddy,
Can we put a banana out for Christmas?
Can we get a tiny banana?" "No, son. They don't exist. You've been lied to." Happy Christmas. I don't know.
I honestly think they are arrogant enough to think that they can create a new tradition.
I thought you were going to say create a new banana.
A new kind of banana. Banana 2.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
Yeah, I think they were at first, because they'd done the carrot, they were like, maybe we bring to life a mince pie with a little face. And they were like, we can't do that. That's a fruit coffin. So we can't do that. That'd be crazy.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
calls them fruit coffins.
I call them fruit coffins,
Yeah.
certainly. Like I know we all do around the
Joking
table.
aside, if there was a pie called a fruit coffin, I would devour that. Like, I would destroy a fruit coffin.
John, you just are the fruit coffin.
You're where fruit goes to die. But yeah, like then some wise kid, round the table of executives was just like, "What if we made a new Christmas tradition?" And everyone just clapped.
What I absolutely
Or one
hate,
person.
No further thought required on
No.
that. No, that's it.
the
Done.
really depressing thing is, I think you're 100% right, and I think people will do it. I
I think
it
they
will
will.
work.
I think it will.
So my question is, as somebody who has experienced first-hand and second-hand mental illness over the years and has a deep affinity and sensitivity to that issue, with that in mind, I'd like to ask, are we mentally ill as a country? Because what the fuck? It's not that they're doing this, it's that I know it will work.
Yeah.
I know people are going to fucking eat this up. What's wrong with us?
We've been shut inside our houses for a long time.
This began before then.
It's been going for so long.
I've never got it like myself. I hate advertising in general. Like I think I've spoken before on this podcast about how much I just hate being advertised to. And yeah, my sister goes nuts for the Christmas adverts.
Really?
Like, it's not Christmas until she's seen that Coca-Cola advert.
What the
Hurricanes are coming.
hurricanes?
Hurricanes are coming. Yeah, that one.
That one.
And it's just I don't get it. I've never got it.
No.
And I don't know, maybe the problem here, John, is that we're the mentally ill ones. Because everybody else seems to get some kind of joy out of this.
We're the
and
white
we
sheep of
don't.
the country.
Well, we all went to the cinema. the other
Oh,
day.
that was horrible. Not the cinema in general. That was fine. But
But we saw a different ad for boots
Oh,
Their
yeah.
Christmas
That was the
ad.
Christmas
It
ad.
was so
which has gone
desperate.
completely the other way.
It's
Yeah.
a really weird choice.
It's like we're not even going to try to be tasteful. It's literally just
buy loads of shit.
Buy all
Buy
this
shit.
crap, please.
3 for 2.
It
Go
was,
for it.
What's weird about that one is that typically they do try and avoid the obvious
Yeah.
we want you to buy stuff angle. But this one didn't at all.
No.
It was like she's literally emptying a bag onto a bed that's just full of tat.
Yeah.
And it was just piles and piles of
Yeah.
stuff. It was insane.
And it created
It was
a direct
obscene.
the story of the advert, as much as it was, created a direct link between things and love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I
100%.
mean, like that is basically the commercialization of Christmas.
I think that was the
in-
hashtag, actually.
yeah.
It was things and love.
Yeah.
Things equals love.
Things equals love.
Things equals love is basically the commercialization of Christmas in like 2 words and 1 half word.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit at the end of the advert where she gives her dearest like Nana
Yeah.
like a bottle of perfume.
And there's
Yeah.
this really weird lingering shot, which I think was meant to invoke the fact that this might have been the first time she'd been able to see her Nana in like 2 years.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is like, well, your Nana was sending you like massive bags full of magic Mary Poppins levels of crap. So clearly she's been able to get to Boots. So she's been able to go out. So if she
Yeah.
didn't want to see you, she didn't want to see you.
She went to Boots instead of
Yeah.
you.
But doesn't the Gran say some like she gives her the perfume? There's this weird, awkward, lingering shot,
Yeah.
and then Gran, really just cranking the twee up, goes like, "This is what love smells like."
I think that's
And then
written
she
on
goes-
yeah. Oh god, no! It's horrible.
That would have been amazing. I would
Let
have
it
gone straight to
rip.
Boots. Let it rip, Gran.
I've been holding that in for 2 years.
I'm waiting until you came over.
See you in hell. And then she just keels over. That fart was keeping her upright.
That was all she had.
It was powering her body.
I like the idea that she hangs her like this bottle of perfume. It's this heartwarming moment, and she looks down, and the perfume's just called like "Squats" by Christina Aguilera or something like that.
Twerk fest. Yeah.
Yeah. Vile with a Y.
Saw this and thought of you.
Yes, garbage.
Yeah,
It is a horrible
absolutely.
advert.
But I think we
They
might
all
be. I think we might be the wrong ones. But I think we should be proud of our strangeness.
I think
Yeah.
we're in a minority, but I think we're the right one.
There's nothing to be proud of here.
And I bet you anything that stupid banana will turn out to be some kind of right wing, like pro Brexit. Like they'll.
The banana.
Yeah, they'll
Brexit
get
was
that
hung
in.
on bananas, if you think
It
about
was.
it. Yeah,
Bananas
want-
and fish.
that's
Yeah.
true.
We want our curvy bananas. Or is it straight bananas?
We want our.
We wanted the
Wonky
thing.
bananas.
We wanted the thing that we now have, and that's why we're all really happy all
Yeah.
the time.
That would be
so
great.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact
We're
the
doing
country's
fine.
on fire
It's
doesn't
doing
make
fine.
any difference. Yeah.
Well, that's me.
You got that out of your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Great.
feel much better now.
Great.
Merry fucking
I feel
Christmas.
worse. So thanks.
Well, we could have done some listener hates, but as we now have twice for Chris Ray, we normally would.
Yeah.
There's maybe no time for them, so
Oh,
we
no.
we could probably just push on.
Yeah, we can push on.
Push on. Sorry, listeners.
Aw.
We'll get to them with when
They'll
Chris
get their
is back.
turn. They'll get their turn.
We never destroy them. We just save them
We
up.
just varnish over them and
Just move on.
yeah, a new layer of
Bury them
veneer.
in the walls.
Loves?
Loves. Who's
Loves.
got a love?
I've got a love. It's a pretty simple one, but I've been watching a show on Netflix, and I want to tell everyone to watch it because I think it's great. And it's called Maya and the Three, and it's an animated show, ostensibly for kids, but I would argue that it's for anyone. And it's really cool. It's like an Aztec fantasy adventure story, and it's like 9 episodes long, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I would say,
Aztec fantasy.
yes,
Okay.
we never get that.
Yeah, that's
do we?
that's,
We
a,
never
that's
get
a
it.
rarely used
Yeah.
chunk of human history.
So the guy who created the movie Book of Life, which you may
Oh,
or may
yeah,
not
yeah.
have heard of, which is a very cool
which is
movie.
the better Pixar one, right? Like the one that's
Yeah.
like a Pixar one that they released, but better.
But Pixar did it afterwards.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like Coco.
Like Coco.
Yeah.
But
And
better.
Coco's great as well, but Book of Life is better, I think. But yeah, again, that sort of like Mexican adventure story, that one. And then this director made a Nickelodeon 2D animated show, which is called LT Grey, which I haven't seen any of, but looks very nice. And then he made this limited series for Netflix, which is about literally globe-trotting adventurers from different sort of Aztec or Mayan themed clans all coming together to fight the gods, who are basically decided to come to through the gate and just destroy humanity because they're bastards, I guess. But like, yeah, we never see that mythology. We never see that part of the world. Like, it's got this incredible voice cast with like Zoe Saldana as the lead character and everything, and they're all like speaking in Mexican and Spanish accents and languages and everything. But it's got some of the most amazing, badass action as well. It's like a CG animated series, but they're fighting gods and they're all like demigods and stuff. And it's like anime action, but better. It's so cool. And the story is excellent. And it's like a finite thing. There's not going to be any more. Mm-hmm. It's like 9 episodes. It very much ends at the end of episode 9. And it's just brilliant. It's just really, really cool.
I mean, that's rare in the world of anime, isn't it? Like, usually it's like doesn't even get started till episode 20 or whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this one really moves at a pace. But
it's quite high budget. Maybe that was why it was so limited.
Yes.
In its run.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, in terms of like production value, it looks like a Pixar 3D quality, you know, rendering or whatever. It doesn't look anything like a Pixar movie. It's got a really distinct visual style.
Looks like The Book of Life a bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, some of the characters are really big, preposterously huge, and then some of them are really tiny, you know. But
I think like Netflix doesn't help itself because you've discovered that.
I know, but it's not showing up for anyone.
Haven't seen. It's only because you've watched like 48,000 weird
kids shows.
Yeah.
I think Netflix thinks I'm a 9-year-old.
Yeah,
which is fine because I get a lot of tat, but then I also get the gems, and it's a question of sifting. But Maya and the 3, it's a goodie. It's a real goodie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who are the 3?
They're her 3 sort of companions. So the story is about her finding 3 legendary from the prophecy warriors who she's going to take to destroy the gate where the gods come through. And ironically, there are 4 sort of tribes at war. They all don't get on, and she needs to find a warrior from each of the 4 tribes in order to kind of bring the world
She's
together.
one of them, is she?
She's one,
right, yeah.
and then there's one from each of the others. And like one of them is like the tribe of magicians, and one of them is the tribe of like barbarians, and they all have this distinct kind of energy to them, and they all have this like color scheme and look and feel to them and everything. So cool. It's so cool. And then there's like this, you know, like the classic Aztec dragon, which has got that sort of square snout and sort of breathes fire. Mm-hmm. There's like a huge one of those that they ride on. It's mad. It's so cool. It's so colourful as well. Honestly, it's like everything we deserve that we just haven't had for so long. And it's all like super diverse and like championing like races and cultures and like languages that never get championed at all. And on top of all of that, it's actually really good as well. It's just great. So much fun. So yeah, watch it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not much to say about that. Like, yeah.
No, it's
What more is there to
almost
say?
too good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, I've got a love.
Yeah.
I've been flip-flopping between like 3 or 4 loves the whole way through this recording, so I'm hoping I picked the right one. But I love the Cadfael novels. This is a bit, possibly a slightly obscure one for anyone who wasn't born in like the late 80s, early 90s to actually see the TV adaptation of the Cadfael series.
I remember seeing some of the TV. Yeah.
But the Cadfael novels are a series of murder mystery books set in 12th century Shrewsbury.
Specifically.
Yeah, 12th century Shrewsbury, during a period of British history where there was a civil war, but it's the civil war everyone forgets about because it was like a really kind of sexist civil war, which is kind of an interesting background to it, where like the granddaughter of William the Conqueror was supposed to become queen, but then her cousin, who happened to be a bloke, got there first, so he got crowned, and then there was a massive civil war as to which one was supposed to be the ruler of England. And then just with this as the background, there's this monk in the Abbey of Shrewsbury where for some reason murders keep happening like around Shrewsbury. It's a classic kind of murder she wrote sort of situation where I'm pretty sure there shouldn't be that many murders in a town the size of Shrewsbury in like the 1140s.
But in like Murder, She Wrote, maybe this is quite fitting because in Murder, She Wrote, there's always like 4 characters.
Yeah.
Like every episode, you're introduced to 4 people, and you know one of them is the murderer.
Oh yeah.
And one of them is the victim.
Whereas like the population of the world in like
was about
12.
4.
It was about 4. Yeah. So.
But no, it is a very good series. I think it's got an interesting start to it in that the author Ellis Peters, she only wanted to write one novel. She specifically wanted to write a novel about the acquisition, I think is probably the best word, of the bones of Saint Winifred by the Abbey of St. Peter and St. Paul in Shrewsbury, and she wanted to kind of weave a mystery like around those bones and how the relics actually got back and things. It's a very good book. And then she left it for ages, apparently, and went off and wrote a completely different detective series. And then was like, this Cadfael dude was actually kind of cool, like I should go back to that.
Pretty rad.
And then started building into this idea of the anarchy going on in the country at the time, and sort of the politics of what was meant to be happening. And then there's just this little enclave of people who were supposed to be completely cut off from it, but Cadfael keeps somehow getting dragged out into the world. And it gets very tropey, which I kind of love. It does have a thing of like, you're introduced to 4 or 5 characters, one of them's going to be killed and one of them's the murderer.
Yeah.
Whenever there is a spare single boy and girl, they will end up together by the end of the book.
That's lovely.
But also, it is the 12th century. I mean, like, you've got to,
some of these people are like
15,
16. Like, it's like,
we need to procreate.
Literally, have a baby, double the population. We are desperate.
I've been thinking it would be a really interesting one to, in a kind of post, like, epic historic retelling world, like post-Crown world, post the Tudors world. It'd be a really interesting one to readapt now, because to start off with, you could actually have Cadfael played by a Welsh actor. You could actually have people speaking Welsh in the whole thing, and you could put so much more of the backstory of what was going on in the world at that time, which I think is kind of underexplored. And like I said, it is the most racist civil war. Sexist. The most sexist civil war. It's also pretty racist because there's the French involved. But but it's like the most sexist civil war that could have ever happened. Like, and I just, it's been very fun. And during lockdown, I've been reading. There are 21 books in the series. I have read 20 of them. I am on book 21. And book 21 is a prequel, so I've actually read the entire main series.
Right, there you go.
And it's been very fun, and I would absolutely love to see a proper adaptation of it that actually followed the books, rather than the 90s one, which clearly had a very limited budget, and Derek Jacobi not even trying to put on a Welsh accent.
Isn't, like, what was, like, the average life expectancy at that point?
Well, I mean, Cadfael is explicitly in his 50s and 60s during the novels.
So he's the oldest man alive.
Yeah.
The thing is, yes, average life expectancy was somewhere around 40, but a lot of people died before 5. Like, if you made it past 5, you were kind of in it for the long run.
Yeah.
Right.
So they kind of dragged the mean.
The average was dragged very low by a lot of people dying in childbirth.
Right.
And a lot of women dying age 19 because they gave birth.
It's just like it's just wild to me. It's like, it's like almost like, why bother solving a murder? Because it's like everyone's
dying anyway.
Everyone's dying of like dysentery and like I don't know, because we're idiots.
Yeah.
We forgot everything we knew about being clean, and now we just eat shit. I don't know.
We've all got wooden teeth.
I think the thing is that you're right. Obviously, it's an idealized representation of that world. It's an idealized representation of Catholicism in that world, because this is obviously, it's all Catholic because there is no Protestant Reformation yet. It's 1140, so
it must be.
Yeah, the Catholic Church is all. In fact, there is an episode which is a novel that's entirely about someone who is kind of espousing beliefs that will later become the beliefs of the Protestant Reformation, and that's kind of an interesting take on it. They are very formulaic, but there are some interesting twists on things. Like, there's one episode which is all around one widow woman in the town who's only like 24, so every single man in the town is apparently after her, and it gets quite hilarious. just like, it seems like she can't meet a man, but he tries to get with her, and it's just so stupid. It gets to the point of ridiculousness. There's the episode where you think someone's been murdered, and then it turns out that they haven't actually been murdered. It's just there's been this whole murder investigation, and then it was actually an accident. Just a very suspicious looking accident.
They are dead?
Yeah, they are dead.
Okay.
Yeah, undisputably dead, just not dead for any reason that anybody had anything to do with.
They
kind of a happy ending.
scraped their finger on a nail and then instantly died of, I don't know.
Many things.
And yes, of course, there is this whole thing of Cadfael is the idea is that he took the cross and went to Jerusalem on the Crusades, and when he came back, he had learned a whole bunch of like Arabic medicine, basically.
Okay.
So he's actually acting as an apothecary and basically the town doctor. Like, if you want to not die, you go to Cadfael for whatever is bothering you.
Yeah.
And he's like
Uses the
he's like
sands of time.
he's like growing opium in his herb garden and stuff because he
Nice.
just like smuggled I don't think it's even smuggling. He just brought the seeds back and started
Yeah,
growing
I
opium
don't think there was like a
poppies.
border control
No.
back then.
No, he's just blazing 24/7.
And pretty much everything he gives anybody has poppy juice in it.
Poppy juice. Oh, I used to drink that out of a carton when I was a kid.
They should leave that up, Santa.
Yeah.
Because if you time travel,
balls.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just like dosing the River Severn with it. Like, everybody in Shrewsbury must be out of it all the
What a
time.
legend.
but if you could like time travel back to that time period with only what you currently have on you,
Oh God.
you'd be kind of a god. Like, even just with whatever knowledge
Just
you
because
have
I can't
right
get
now.
smallpox. Although
No,
actually I could get smallpox
you-
because I haven't
Chapstick.
been vaccinated against
Oh
smallpox.
my god, chapstick.
Chapstick. I bet they'd really love that.
What
in
have I
the
got? I've got
13th century.
my phone. I've got my inhaler.
I have a hanky. I'm traveling quite light right this
Hanky,
second.
you're probably going to bring stuff
Yeah.
back that will kill him.
If I'd had my well,
Introduce COVID to
Oh my
the 1140s.
I could time travel like right now back to the 12th century with all I'm wearing, and I would become the
And
great.
it's not much, I'll tell you right
I would
now.
become the greatest doctor of the era simply because I'd advocate not pissing on an open
Yeah.
wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Wash
like-
your
Wash your
hands.
hands.
They'd
Yeah.
probably burn you for being a witch
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
for saying that.
It's like, oh, I've got an arrow wound. Well, don't worry, we'll just pack it with horse manure and we'll wrap it in like tarpaulin
and
and
I'll
then
just
bury
squat
you.
and shit on it as
Yeah.
well. Like, why not?
Yeah, you know. Take a banana that hath layeth out for 10 weeks.
In a flower pot.
But yeah, I enjoy it greatly, and I would recommend anybody read it because they're very easy reads. Like, Ellis Peters is she was a good author, and the words work easy.
The words are there and they communicate meaning.
Yes.
They make
Yeah.
sense. Good.
Cool.
And she even has a very handy Welsh pronunciation guide in the back, which is useful because a lot of the place names are really hard to figure out how they're meant
It's
to be
mostly
said.
phlegm. But yeah.
A lot of it happens in Gwynedd, which is the
Gwynedd.
northern Welsh kingdom at the time. Because again, this is a period where Wales was not just one independent kingdom, was like 5 independent kingdoms that weren't part of England.
Do they ever go to Machynlleth?
No, they go to Bangor.
Dolgechai?
I think, yes, Dolgechai does appear in it at some point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pwllheli?
They
I
made
don't
that one up.
remember.
Pwllheli?
I don't remember Pwllheli. No, I think I remember them mentioning Crickleth at some point.
Cricketh. Ah.
Oh,
The
there we
competition
go.
of can you pronounce Welsh place names? And also a place called Abermenai, which I looked up and doesn't exist.
Oh, a made up Welsh
Yeah.
place.
Although there is a place by the Menai that would be the mouth of the Menai, which is what Abermenai means. So, I mean, I don't know whether
Okay.
it existed in 1140 and just doesn't anymore.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. Cadfael.
Cultured. Good recommendation.
And I'm probably
Sarah.
saying it wrong as well. Cadfael? Cadfael? You'd have to say it like that, wouldn't you?
You just have to put the accent on. Yeah. You got a love, Ali?
I do have a love. It is the moon. Love the moon. Sometimes we're like watching something like a movie. It's a really good movie, and the moon's out, and I'm not watching the movie anymore. I'm
That is
watching the
true.
moon,
You
and
do
it's
do
like
that.
half an hour, and every 5 minutes I'll be like, look, the moon.
Like, I've seen the bloody
Yeah.
moon. Yeah, I've seen it.
And then it'll move a little bit. I'll be like, look, the moon.
Do you just forget that the moon is there every time? Like when
Yeah,
so
it's
it
like-
surprises you every time it's moved a bit.
It does. Yeah.
Do you not own curtains?
We do, but we never draw them.
Because we'll hide the moon.
I'll hide the moon. I need
I
see
tried
the
to draw
moon.
curtains once and she leapt on
I was
me.
upstairs and I was
Yeah.
like, Nick,
I heard the curtains.
the moon.
Why do you love the moon so much?
Well,
The Dark Covenant.
Yes.
isn't it amazing that if you can see the moon, then that means there's nothing between you and the moon. So if you were to, if you could fly and you were to just travel
Like
in
Superman.
a direct line to where you can see, if you travel long enough, you'll just get to the moon. Like it's a place you could just get to. How cool is that?
that it's a
Like
that it's a place.
I can't see Australia. I can't even see London.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Australia doesn't exist
But,
because we
like,
can't see that.
I can see the moon.
No,
And
no,
you can just
no,
go there.
no, I mean, it's easy to mock, but like when I'm driving and I look, say, out across a field and I see like a house, it's kind of amazing because if I just like veered off the road,
You could go there.
I could reach that house.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
Americans that just park in
In the
buildings,
shop.
in a
the
shop.
Yeah.
You could do that to
I
someone's
could
living
just
room.
do that.
You could just-
Yeah.
Because when you see that house, it's a place.
Yeah. No, it's
and you
wild.
can go there.
Yeah,
You
I
could go
know.
to that person's
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So we can only ever see one side of the moon because the moon is tidally locked.
Yes.
So what about the other side of the moon?
How do you feel about the other side?
Yeah,
Well,
because you can't see it, and you couldn't fly straight to it unless you went through the bit that you could see.
that's true. I'm not so interested in that side, to be honest. It seems cold.
So you like half the moon?
I like half the moon. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll change my love. I like half the moon.
You like the lit side
Yeah,
of the moon?
yeah. I like that you can see shadows on it, and like those are lumpy, bumpy places, and like you might go for a walk up a hill of a Sunday. You could like walk on those hills. No one's ever walked on them before, probably.
Some of them.
Yeah, like most of them have not been walked on.
Have you ever been able to make out the supposed man on the moon?
Yes, and now Nick and I had a discussion maybe like a couple of years ago about this because I see a face in the moon like all the time. It's always watching.
Does
I've
it
always
tell
seen a
you
face
to
in the
do
moon.
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah.
But Nick sees a different man in the moon. You see like a sideways face, but I see a front-on
I
face.
only see a man in the moon when it's a crescent moon, and I see a profile face.
Yeah, see, that's weird.
Does it have a nose?
Yeah, has a little pointy nose.
Oh, interesting.
So weird.
Because it's probably-
Nick might be editing it in his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the edge of a
You think
crater.
of the DreamWorks intro.
Yeah.
As a boy with a fishing rod. Yes, I see him as well.
Do you see the man in the moon?
No, I've
No?
never. I don't know what people are referring to when they say
Like
they.
craters that are
Yeah,
eyes.
they're like eyes, and it has a big smiley swirly face.
Yeah.
No, I've
No,
never seen
not
it. I
even
can't see
remotely,
it.
no. Because I live in a cold Vulcan
When
universe. I
when
just
is,
see.
when is the next full moon? I'm just looking it up.
Yeah, I think it's in a couple of weeks.
We can all go out and we'll have a field trip. We'll see if we can see
Yeah.
this so-called
I've looked at the
man.
moon many times. I've never seen
Not as
a
many
fa-
times as
Have you
Ali.
No.
really looked at the moon? though?
Well, I've
like
looked
you've
at the moon,
seen
but I've
it.
never
but-
seen it. Yeah. I've
Yeah,
never
Have
that's
you,
seen
the
it.
John,
thing.
have you ever looked at the moon with your heart?
No.
Ali, I have some very
I've looked at
exciting
it
news
with
for you.
my arse, but, yeah.
There is a lunar eclipse going on right now.
Right now? What?
Open the curtain.
Your God has
end
left
of
you.
podcast.
Well, I can't see the moon at all, so I
It's
guess that's
gone.
true. It's the apocalypse!
Hold your loved ones close.
So hang on, lunar eclipse is when
The moon is going to
sun
pass
comes out at
through
night.
the shadow of the Earth. So the
Ah.
Earth will be directly between the moon and
so
the
it goes
sun.
dark.
It'll go reddish because it's just getting hit by the red light that kind of splits around.
Ooh, see, it was destiny that I was
And it
to
will
come
be-
here. And
It
say
will be
about the
visible
moon.
until the 19th of November.
Ooh.
Are you, like, part of a cult? And you're here to advocate the moon to us all?
I guess in a way, yes. We don't have a website or anything.
We're on next door.
We're on next door. We're recruiting locally by word of mouth
What are you recruiting for?
to join the Moon Club.
The Moon Club?
Yeah,
The MC?
yeah. Do you want to be part of the Moon Club? We're going to put all of our money together. Like if everyone paid £1, you'd have enough money to send one person to the moon.
And who's going?
Well, it's a raffle.
It's a...
Let's
Okay.
send Bezos. He really wants to go. Then we can it's a one-way ticket, right? So
Do you just get together?
You get a
and-
bungee tied to you so you can get flown out there and then you get bungeed
So
back.
you get there for a second and then
Yeah.
twang back to Earth and re-enter.
Yeah.
Do you get together and just eat Jaffa cakes?
That is a contentious issue.
You don't-
Yes,
oh,
there's kind of
sorry.
a split in the Moon Club where half of us love a Jaffa cake and the other half think that it is almost like
Cultural
like
appropriation.
well, no,
Sacrilegious kind
yeah,
of,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like
Any circular object, really.
yeah,
Because those ads really did take the concept of the moon and like fuck about with it, which
Yeah.
is not cool.
yeah.
is it?
But
whole-
like the moon, the Jaffa cake has a dark side and a light side. You see,
Which
Yeah.
one's the dark side?
the chocolate side, obviously.
Oh,
The one that is physically darker.
Yeah.
than
But
the
then
other
some people
side.
might say that chocolate is a light and happy experience.
Not many people.
No, I'm not with them.
No,
I'm not with them.
No,
I'm with you. Yeah.
I guess the saddest thing about those adverts is that a whole generation cannot hear the words "total eclipse." without
Yeah.
thinking of
Total
Jaffa-
eclipse.
It's so true.
without
what
thinking of
accent
Jaffa
even
cake.
was that?
I don't know.
Total
Moon,
eclipse.
lunar accent. She's a moon.
She's a moon
She's a
person.
moon lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I very recently watched the first 2 episodes of The Inhumans. It was awful,
It's really bad.
but it involved a lot of the moon.
Oh,
So
Oh, I might like it then.
You might like it. Yeah, you and your
Yeah.
moon club buddies might want like it.
Your moon your moon appreciation side will probably love it. Your filmmaking side will be quite offended.
Yeah.
But just
was-
like the moon, I'll be in two, you know?
Yeah.
I think it was the highest budget bit of terrible crap that I've ever seen.
I thought you were going to have like a fact. Like, it's the highest budget episode of anything.
Highest budget
Piece of crap
shit.
I've ever seen.
I've
Kind of
never
a compliment in a way.
I've never made a movie. I've never even attempted to make a movie. However, if I did, I would not edit or shoot it the way that this has been done. Like, it is quite bad, I would say.
I want to see it now.
Where did you see it? Is it on Disney Plus?
It's on the Disney
In
Plus.
Disney Plus,
I believe.
yeah.
We can
Cool.
watch it then. Let's-
Yeah.
It's such a shame because I love the concept was very cool, but it's terrible.
what's
Anyway,
the
that is an aside.
But yeah, the moon, you know, when you're
Give it a
next
try.
out, give it a try. Look up. Obviously, look out for speed bumps if you're driving. Slow down. Don't get distracted.
You might drive into someone's front room. or
Yeah.
something.
But yeah, it's just crazy that it's like an actual place.
It is. I will admit that is.
It's very easy to
Crazy.
see it as like a two-dimensional light in the sky,
Circle,
but
yeah.
that is
You
a
could-
place
you could
Just
go
not,
there.
just
And you
not
could
true
go
though. It's
there.
a thing. Yeah.
as a projection.
Yeah.
No,
You can stand on it.
yeah,
I hope that
crazy.
we will see lunar colonies in my lifetime.
That'd be awesome.
Because I mean, like we did the bit where we got there and we took all the bits from it and we even stayed there for a few days. It's like, and then everybody got bored and we stopped thinking about it. But theoretically, we could just put people on the moon and leave them there.
It could have its own TripAdvisor
Yeah.
like entry, couldn't it? The moon.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
How do
Or
you
Space B&B?
how do you feel about the trailer we saw for Roland Emmerich's new cinematic burp, Moonfall?
Did I see that?
You did.
It's very forgettable. So
Yeah.
I can understand why you made.
Yeah.
So
You did watch it with us.
And
yeah.
When?
In front of Eternals.
Are you sure? I went to get a drink at one
Oh,
point.
Oh, that's true. You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you probably missed it.
It's a
You
movie.
Sugar-free
must have
tango.
known. It must have been like your moon senses telling you
Yeah.
we need to leave now.
Yeah,
because
this is
we'll-
blasphemous.
Yeah.
You got a text on the Moon Club actually just before.
Yeah, they're like, leave now.
You're
Go
right.
get
Emergency.
a drink.
Go get a
Yeah.
drink. You'll thank us later.
So,
So
yeah.
it's actually
that's
quite
it.
useful that the moon gives you prophecy powers, really.
Yeah, it's very useful.
Well, on that note, this is quite fitting.
Oh.
I have a love,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a tea egg, which is a bit like a moon.
Oh, I see.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for the connection.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Is this
no,
that thing that Gwyneth Paltrow said, just shove up your wanny?
No, I think that's a
No, that's a jade egg.
That's a
What's-
scam.
Yeah.
That's
That's a
massive
terrible
scam.
idea and a yeast infection waiting to happen.
What's a tea egg?
It's what you get in a ramen.
Oh, it's the tea stained egg where it's like in soy sauce.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are good.
I've been making
Why is
them
there
at
no
home.
actual tea in it?
Just tea stained.
I guess it
aren't
looks
they?
tea coloured.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
but when we started getting ramen, and I had a tea egg. It was like it was a revelation, and I was like, this might be the finest food substance on the planet. Like it's exquisite.
The finest way to have an egg, at least.
Indeed, yeah, the most decadent way to have an egg.
It's a good thing Chris isn't on the podcast because
I know. I
doesn't
feel
like
more,
eggs.
I feel more empowered to say it.
Yeah,
knowing
because you'd have
he's
been
not
afraid
here.
to say it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If he was here, because he would have beaten you up.
Yeah, I thought it'd be quite a.
Oh, sweetheart, you don't have to be scared of him. There's a sword in the bedroom.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but he'd have the sword.
yeah, I have to get to it. Is the problem? Yeah. No, and you know, started making them at home.
Nice.
And,
I've made them once before as well. I think.
and I've made 4 this week.
I could say 40 then. I made 40 tea stained
Well,
eggs.
We spread the load. Like Lucy ate half of them. It wasn't just me eating nothing but tea eggs. And we had
Nothing but tea eggs all the way down.
we had a tea egg each on our meal this evening, and it was a bit too salty. I think it was in the
It's because you're
brine.
having cereal, wasn't it?
I
That's a bit
left.
weird.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was on my Fruity Loops. Yeah, I left it there a bit too long. It was a bit too salty, but the
Okay.
one yesterday was quite nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like you soft boil an egg,
Mhm.
got that down to a tea.
Oh.
Eh?
Tea.
Yeah, now, yeah,
Tea. Yeah.
on Twitter. So yeah, got a perfectly soft boiled egg, and then you let it cool, and then you shell it, and then you dunk it in like soy sauce and other goodies, and you leave it, and it goes kind of grey,
Mm.
and then you pluck it out.
How long do you leave it for? Like a couple
Well,
months?
no. I mean, today
It's all green.
the one today had
Fuzzy.
like 8 hours,
Oh, okay.
And it was
Not even a full day.
And I felt it was a bit too salty. Whereas the one from a couple of days ago had like half that and was kind of like perfect. So it doesn't take long.
So 4 or 5 hours.
It doesn't take long. But yeah, and you get this grey egg, and then you dump it in your ramen or whatever.
Sploosh.
Cut it open. Ooh, perfectly soft inside.
Ooh, yolk spills out.
And it's that decadent umami flavour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I just go and kick an impoverished person while I'm eating it, and I feel great.
Let them watch.
What else could you stain an egg with then? Like, why tea? That's such a random
Well,
thing.
it's soy
and, like,
sauce.
Yeah, but like
I guess you could
do
do it with
coffee.
like beetroot or something.
Oh, a
Yeah.
pink egg.
Yeah,
pink egg. Ooh.
Ooh.
Anything you get a juice that has like a sort of I think it has to have a bit of salt in it to kind of be able to penetrate. It needs to be a bit briny, otherwise it's not going to get into the egg.
Have you ever had a pickled egg?
No, I've never been brave enough. They're always like in a jar at
Yeah.
the chip shop, and I feel like it's been the same eggs in the same jar for at least 30
From like
years.
the Victorian.
Yeah.
era. Yeah. I haven't.
No, Ali?
No, I haven't. It's 'cause I just think they're like lizard eggs. I don't think they're chicken eggs. I'm just suspicious. They always look big. Like, that's
Well,
not
I
a
mean-
chicken. That's
They're
not a
probably
chicken
all
egg.
bloated with vinegary goodness.
Or it's like a
Yeah.
reflection through the glass of the jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making them
I
look.
just don't trust that they're
and
chicken
lizards
eggs.
are historically bigger than chickens, so
Yeah.
that would make sense. Yeah.
Could be Komodo dragon eggs.
It's like a 2-foot tall jar. There's just one egg in it. It just fills the whole thing. It's like, that's a lizard egg. Sure.
Yeah. So it's like I imagine it's kind of like a pickled egg, but not as weird and like rubbery. I think it's decadent, and everyone should try it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great recommendation. Everyone should try it.
that's my love.
Could you eat a lizard egg?
Oh, probably.
I mean,
I mean,
why not?
technically, you can put anything in your
They
mouth.
probably don't
I mean,
lay eggs that don't have tiny lizards in. Like chickens lay eggs that don't have tiny chickens
Like
in.
unfertilized
Yeah.
eggs.
I imagine a lizard doesn't bother wasting energy on that.
Yeah, but then you'll have a little crunch in the middle of the egg.
Oh.
Like a little, like a
Like a
what's it?
Kinder
No.
surprise, really.
Yeah, like a little fetus surprise.
Oh no. Oh, it's nasty.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Well,
the big
What?
question.
the bigger question hanging in the air is, what won, love or hate? Now, do you two get half a vote each because you have the power of Rayman, or
I
is
guess
it?
to avoid a tie, maybe that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh, do you want to rock, paper, scissors it? What?
Well,
You might agree.
we might agree.
That's true.
You go first then.
I feel like Love had a strong.
That's moon talk, though.
Yeah, I
That's
do
the-
really
Yeah,
love
pretty
the moon.
You brought them in.
Yeah.
I mean, you've
Yeah.
got to talk from your big moon heart. Like, just be honest. But like,
I feel like love was all recommendations, which is great and fantastic and spreads the love. But hate was more personal.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
I feel guilty now. I feel you should get a vote each. I feel
Yeah,
like
have a
half a
vote
vote.
each.
doesn't
No,
count.
you've won me over. I'm going
there we go.
hate.
We're
Yeah.
going hate.
Wait, as one vote or two
Yeah,
votes?
one vote.
One
We'll go
vote.
One vote for hate.
Yeah.
Have you got any feelings?
I do have a feeling.
I have a feeling.
Interesting.
Shall I reveal my feeling first? Revealing?
We can say it at the same
Revealing
time.
feeling? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Hate.
No.
Hey!
It's a full round.
Hate. But
The
I do
process
love the
works.
moon.
Unanimous
A
decisions.
clean sweep. Ooh, and we mentioned it off air, but we should mention quickly. Last episode, we talked about Fred Dibner,
Oh, yeah.
which prompted George, one of our listeners, to share that he actually purchased a rivet, which was owned by the great man,
Yeah.
because
And
his
Fred Dibner's head fell off. He was keeping his head on.
George, no!
It was structurally integral to his
yeah, I
skeleton.
like we're saying like George purchased a
Yeah.
rivet
Yeah.
from a steam engine that was carrying a class of school children before he was careening off a cliff. But no, because after he died, apparently they basically just auctioned off and sold
All of his rivets.
anything that wasn't nailed down.
Oh, okay. Or riveted down.
Yeah.
So I thought,
Even the
surely,
nails.
surely by nature, like rivet is riveted down.
and I thought this was a weird novelty. So we shared this picture saying that like, listener George has shared a photo of a rivet which he owns.
I mean, sure, I could go out into the street tomorrow and just sell a rivet and say it was Fred Dibner's rivet.
Well, I imagine anyone who does own a rivet would instantly know.
The thing
that
is
you
though,
were
like,
full of-
what a weird scam. Like, if you're gonna scam, you'd say it was like Victoria Beckham's rivet, wouldn't you? Like,
I think it's got to be a believable rivet owner.
well, this is what I mean. Like, if you're gonna say it's Fred Dibner's rivet, that's probably true because that's such a weird lie.
But when I think of Posh Spice, I do think of her coming in after a busy day in the workshop.
Handbag full of rivets.
doing the maintenance on the boiler.
Oily rag. But my point is, after we shared that picture of Fred Dibner's magic rivet,
Oh, it's magic.
someone else responded with a different piece of Fred Dibner paraphernalia that they own from his estate as well. Like,
I feel like I need to get something now. I need to get a Dibner bit.
You're such a collector.
A dib bit. A dib bit.
A dib bit.
Get a dib bit.